Kumbaya.
Did you just want to say something first?
Yeah.
You can think of, I don't know, good Animorning to say.
Everybody is not red in the chat to me. Oh wait, they are on the
stream,
on OBS,
yeah.
yeah.
Everybody's like this blood red
Wow.
on the screen layout. Is that me? Did I do that?
I don't know. Maybe you did.
Maybe
It's kind of hard to see people's names.
Yeah. So switch to properties.
Hey guys. Good Animorning. Cowabunga is right. Hey, Your Majesty.
No,
Hey,
I didn't.
Chico.
I didn't do it.
Bert, Ola, I see you all. How's everybody doing? Martine, hello. Did I do that? Get some Urkel up in here. Urkel on a Wednesday morning.
Oh, I made them disappear.
You made them disappear.
Someone say something.
I made my family disappear.
Yeah, look, there we go. Now they're not red.
That fixed the problem.
I did it.
Your Majesty, you're nervous. Don't have to be nervous. I think before we get into the Animorning challenges, Mike wants to show you all something. Anyway. So don't be too nervous.
I do. Okay. Yeah, I do. I do indeed. Alright. So, if you were here last week, I came up with an idea that India was like, yeah, do that.
I was like, sure.
And
why not?
and it was an idea about like creating an interactive stream overlay with our avatars, but creating it in Unity. So here's my prototype.
Amazing. I love the simplified versions, like especially yours. So cute.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let her out. She's trying so hard to open the door.
I think she's like, something's burning. I've got to escape. Make them do things, make them talk. Hey, will you say that? What? India, I'm gonna pass you a controller.
So you've hooked them up to Xbox controller.
I have. I don't know which one is hooked up to you.
Just give one of the things a wiggle.
I'll give it a wiggle when it's... Oh no.
Just give them a wiggle.
They're so tangled. Okay, let me... So... Go away. One of the things that happened is, see this little box here in the middle? See this little doodad? This is also a prototype trash bot.
Oh, so, really?
Yeah.
I thought that was the view cube.
No, this is the view cube. This is a prototype trash bot.
Okay.
So okay, if I hit play, hopefully things all go our way. Boop. You'll notice in the chat that someone will wake up.
Oh, what?
There he is!
Truffle 5 Shabbat is here.
Yeah. He's awake. So I give him a wiggle. Okay, this one is you.
Okay.
This one is you.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it is so tangled.
Yeah. And this one is me. Hello.
I can go angry too.
You can go. Yeah, you can Angie. I've got one emotion so far, which is be angry.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Indy, I'm coming to get you.
Oh, you can actually.
I'm coming to get. What? What did? Oh, come back. Hello. How dare you? No. Ah. So I've got them movable, and they currently like they look at this cube and they hate it. They hate this cube. No.
That's so cool. Oh, Mike, this is awesome.
Also,
Huh?
check out. Oh, where'd it go? Where is it? There it is.
Wow.
The new text.
Okay.
Look.
Okay. What are you doing?
Hello.
What? How did you?
Yeah.
What? Wait, how? Why would we? How is that useful though?
So that if I type into the chat, it comes up on the stream. It'll be like, "Hello, I'm a bear."
Oh, so it's you're typing in chat and it's appearing on.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought that you were typing in Unity and it was appearing in the chat. I was like, why would you ever want to do that though?
No.
Ah. That's so cool, dude.
Yeah.
Doig.
Yeah.
I am Doig. On the right side of the screen. Lappa, I'm Doig. I am the stream.
India, do you have Sync SketchUp?
Yeah, I do.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, one other cool thing that I got working was...
Hello, Grog.
Hello, Grog. How are you doing this morning? Hello, Kuzik. How are you? Hello, Ben.
India, have you got NDI working?
Yes.
Is it working now?
Yes. Maybe, should be, probably. Is it? Oh wait, no, it's working now.
It's working now.
Yeah. Did we see you made an updated submission thing? When did you make it? Because if you made it after we uploaded, we probably haven't seen it.
India, look.
What?
I got this working.
Whoa! It's my screen on your screen.
In my screen.
What? What does that even mean? It means we can have giant hovering screens, I guess, in a different environment.
Yeah.
It's so amazing, dude.
You can...
I don't know how you've managed to project things that I'm sending you from my computer into Unity in real time.
Because I'm fucking cool.
Yeah, that is so cool.
Hit play.
Okay, I didn't really want to play it before everyone was ready, but I can bring something else up.
Bring something else up.
Okay, let's pirate some Game Grumps.
How freaking cool is this?
Y'all want to watch some Game Grumps?
Fucking Game Grumps upside down. That's pretty cool. So yeah, we could like create little environments where our little workstations are and have our screens on, and it'll be actually our screens. Hit a bear. Look, it's us in our natural habitat. So yeah, I just before we got into the
Grog is requesting fart reverb.
fart reverb. Why?
Well, because it's something Game Groups did once that's pretty awesome. Get a big fart and put a lot of reverb on it.
Oh, I see. Play Do Me Big Fart with reverb. But yeah, so I was doing some stuff over the weekend, and this was the results. Got a playable.
Your Majesty, if you sent us a new link on Monday, then Mike just put in the stuff to Sync Sketch this morning, so chances are that we have your latest.
Yeah, I just grabbed the latest one from each person. So yeah. That together.
That's amazing, dude.
I like that I'm slightly in front of you at all times.
Yeah, I wonder why that is.
Unintentional, I'm sure.
It's pretty amazing, dude.
Hello, my name is Doig. Welcome to our stream. Okay, I'm done. I showed you all the features. This you got the first view of the cool shenanigans that might happen.
Isn't it neat?
Did you say look at this bear, isn't it neat?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't move you. Oh wait, now I can. There you go, now you can be slightly in front of me.
I mean, can we not just be on the same level? Does someone always have to be slightly in front of someone else?
I just thought you might want to.
I mean, not saying I don't. But I'm trying to be fair.
I'm hiding. So eventually you won't see the cube floating around, but for debug purposes.
Yeah. So your intent is to have these little avatars be at the bottom of the screen and us able to control them while we're streaming, right?
Yeah. Can someone try whispering me? Whispering Doig Swift. I want to see if a certain other thing is working.
I did it.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Hey Tib! Look at this cool thing! It's so awesome. I guess like a lot of people here have probably already seen it because you've been posting it into the peg bar a fair amount.
Yeah.
But, I haven't, so I only kind of see when Mike whoops in happiness, I look over, and when he deliberately shows me something, I look over. Croco says, "Look at this bear, isn't it neat? Won't you admire his fat disco beats?"
Karzik's got it.
So, what does that do if you whisper?
It's supposed to tell me that you've whispered, but it currently doesn't. That's the next part I'm trying to get to work. Is a thing called PubSub, which I think is just like published and subscribable events, so that the application knows when certain things happen on a stream channel. And once I get that working, then I'll be able to hook in channel points to this, and that's my ultimate aim, is to be able to like have the little dudes respond to stuff.
Oh, I see. My ultimate aim is to see them animated nicely with forward.
Yeah. Alrighty. I was hoping to see something like... Actually, don't know what I was hoping to see. I can't remember what I was supposed to say. Wait!
What is it?
No, it was wrong.
We're doing okay, Tib. How are you?
Yeah, I'm
How's
done.
your work and everything going?
Do 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 do. There you go.
Can Crowmail be an actual CG crow then? Ah, you see, Mike has thought of this too. Yeah, I think Mike intends for Crowmail to be triggered and for the crow to actually like appear. Yeah, Crowmail should be a PNG image of a crow with no animation. Kind of into that. I kind of want it all to be 2D, but I know that is currently kind of impossible with what you want to happen.
I mean, it could be 2D. I just wouldn't be able to do the looky thing.
I don't know how it would be 2D at the minute with the way the heads are turning.
Yeah. The bear's on the screen now.
Oh, Tib says work is hard. Who'd have thunk clicking headfirst into character animation would actually be pretty difficult? I mean, if it makes you feel better, Tib, everything is horrifically difficult. Even when you've done it before, it's super difficult all the time. To be an artist. Just project 2D so it's always facing the screen. Ooh, how would we do that? Like, to have the head, like, rotate according to where the cube is looking. And such.
How do you mean?
I'm just trying to figure out how we could do it in 2D. I mean, I like 2D because I can control it. I can, like, just draw things how I want them.
Oh, you mean like if the camera moves around, the sprites will move to face them, sort of thing. Because the camera isn't going to... Well, the camera could move around, but...
Yeah, I think it would be more robust in 3D, but I miss being able to control the way things look in 2D. And just super welcome, Tib. I am the best at making people feel better. See, it would just be a plane. I was thinking to project the 2D onto that. I think it's the controlling them via the controller. It's gonna be the hardest. I mean, I can think of ways to do it, but I'm not sure if we know how to implement them.
Yeah, you could have facing directions, but they wouldn't be smooth. They'd be like, look up, look left, look right. Well,
it would be smooth depending on how many stages in between them you have.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Of which you could have as many as you wanted.
Yeah. Basically, Mike will make a 2D sprite platform game, so you have to animate all the movement.
As long as I get to animate it, I'm good. I do think having them 3D will allow us to make changes faster, though.
Yeah.
Because once you've done something in 2D, you're kind of stuck with the way it looks. There's not much alteration you can do. You know, unless you just want to redo it. Yeah, exactly, Sasquatch. Like every 15 degrees or something. Wait, Tib, what? You've reached and surpassed feature parity in your recreation of that Pico 8 Sonic project you're working on. What does that mean? Those are all words!
Hey, Doig girl. Your screen is up now, so it's just a bear on screen.
Yeah?
You ready to do some Animorning challenge stuff?
Okay.
Okay.
Hello, Vert.
Wait, which Vert is this?
It's a different Vert, a whole new Vert.
A whole
Don't
new
you
Vert.
dare close your eyes. Oh! Oh! It's a Crowmail. See, Vertex Seas says, what year is it? 1927. It's worse for everybody. And Tib says, you don't have to redraw every 15 degrees if you do puppet stuff, just keep the designs nice and simple. I think we'd have to render out a new drawing every 15 degrees, so wouldn't we? Essentially, because we'd be giving Unity frames.
Yeah, it would just depend on how it's translated into.
I think you just stick a key on the most extreme up, down, left, right positions you want, then let it interpolate them, and then send you however many frames from that interpolation you want, like 0 to 60. And then do the same for the 8 directions or 16 directions, however many you want.
Yeah, but then... Yeah.
It'd be fine and look great.
But, okay, so the bear looks... I think it wouldn't be really worth it. Because if you want the bear to like do talking or do an angry emote or whatever, then you
that's
need
the
all
issue.
those frames. If you want them to change expression, you need all those frames. If you want
That's the issue. It's like
to add a hat, you
you're
need all those
layering
frames.
things on 3D, whereas in 2D you would need to render out a whole new set for every new action you want.
Yeah. We could do 2D facial expressions and map those to the cube face.
I don't mind, so long as it like looks nice.
That'll be cool. I'm making it.
No, I believe you. I believe you. It's just, you know, as a 2D artist, it's very hard to resist the urge to grab things with my hands and then make them the way I want them to be.
Yeah.
You know, I can't do that with this. All I can do is give you the thumbs up or thumbs down. You're gonna save up for push-ups. Thank you. Alright, we on the Animorning challenge.
Yay!
Yay! Thank you to people for submitting and doing this Animorning challenge. We have 4 submissions for storyboards. So yeah. Porky, I see you there. This is unbearable. Having a grizzly of a time. My gosh. There should be one for a minute plank. Oh my gosh, I'd die. Planks are so hard. You think that there's nothing easier than just lying in like a horizontal line and just staying there.
Do you remember the in real life meme of planking? It wasn't an
Where
exercise
people would
plank.
just- yeah,
but
where
people
people-
just yeah.
We're just lying horizontally across things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I could do that type of planking pretty easily, I think.
Some of them were really impressive. Anyway.
Yeah. Boarding be hard. Yes, it is. And I'm sleepy, so I hope I can help with these. But if not, we'll just admire everyone's handiwork and celebrate everyone's awesome submissions. So yeah, thank you guys for doing this challenge and submitting. Let's have a look. I have a feeling I know what this might be. This is Zeb's. I can see immediately something that looks like a star and it's got music, so I'm going to assume that this might be part of the Black Swan project you're working on. Zeb. Zip. Do we need music or have music, Mike?
If you're sending music, it'll play.
Okay. So, hopefully it isn't too loud. Let us know if we need to turn it up or down. So cool! Yeah! You'll see it. You can't hear audio at all. Oh no. Tip, I hope Z has fun animating all that ship. It's okay, they're only boarding, so they may never feel the pain of animating the ships. Let me check that I'm sending you guys audio.
I might just have it turned way low.
Audio source. Yeah, it should be sending you system audio.
I saw it boop the green bar, so...
Ba-do-da-do-do.
Try again.
Yeah?
I feel like it should be playing for people.
Just gonna wait for chat to let me know. Ooh-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Yeah, awesome. Cool. So let's see.
Okay, now I'm gonna turn it off since you're scrubbing.
Oh yeah, good idea. I can just actually don't worry about turning it off. I'll just mute it. And that way, in case anyone else has other audio. See. So I think all this is feeling nice. I especially like this sweep by camera here. And the lasers shooting by and everything. This is nice too. Remember to keep that background moving between panels as well, as we have a sudden tilt here, but it kind of freezes up to that point. So just to keep the feeling of momentum, you probably want to do that. I think here where Sung is like charging up something, because you have both the Sung ship and Strive ship moving screen right at the same time, it kind of feels like you could make more of a moment of Sung charging up by having him more central, so that the focus is really on him. Because they're both moving at the same time to the same place, there's not really an emphasis on which one should be taking the most focus. So I think I'd be tempted to, as Sung is charging, keep him like... Let me get an orange for Sung. Have him like here instead. Charging up. So we really feel like he's like got space compositionally for us to draw our eye to him, and his movement isn't being overshadowed by Strive's movement. Like, one of the best things you can do in storyboards is to draw people's eye by using contrast. And that can be contrast in scale, contrast in value, like contrast in a bunch of stuff, but one of the ways you can do it is contrast in movement. So if you have Strive sweeping over to the screen right while Sung stays relatively still in the middle, but the blast is charging up, we're going to be eyes are going to be drawn to him more, because he's like the odd thing out in terms of everything else is moving, but this Sung ship is staying still, so it feels like it should be the focal point because it's contrasting everything around it. Does that make sense?
It does to me, yeah.
Don't know if I'm describing stuff very well, but yeah, I'd keep him more central. Let me just change this to old frames. There we are. And then when the laser fires, you can have it, you know, straight down here. And make it come closer to the screen by pushing that perspective on it even more. I need my screen ruler again. The one where I literally lie it on the screen and then just draw over it. Then you have him fire like this towards the kind of center of the screen. And you could still have Strive loop over the top and everything, as you would. Let me just put a little note. Essential to give him more room. Positionally. And draw focus. Because you want your audience to be looking at him in this moment. So I'd say just timing wise, the flip over the top feels a little fast to me at the minute.
Yeah.
I think that's something that you could just easily adjust by adding a few more frames onto each of the panels. And then here, it's unclear whether this is a cut or not, because we have Sung suddenly go from being like
Close to far away.
Yeah, quite large in frame here to suddenly being very small in frame here. But it feels like a continuous movement from Strive. So I'm unsure as to whether that's a cut or not. You might want to just clarify by either making sure that in the panels leading up to that there's like a movement taking Sung away from the camera or a reason for that, or you're implying some kind of camera move that's pulling back. Although a camera move pulling back would imply that Strive's moving backwards, which wouldn't make sense.
Yeah.
So I think there just needs to be a reason, like you need to show in your boards like what's happening spatially there. Why sudden small? It's the best way I can describe it. Also unsure like where exactly the lasers are coming from. Are the lasers coming from? Yeah, they're coming from Sung. So if we're moving Sung off to the side here, then the angle of these lasers feels strange because it feels like Sung is now kind of below Strive spatially. Whereas he's always been framed as like slightly above. Like I've always got the impression that they're kind of pretty much on even keel between one another, with Sung often being framed as slightly above Strive. So having the lasers come from bottom right up to top of screen left feels kind of odd, unless you're gonna also have Strive on this trajectory too. So for example, if Strive's ship was like we were seeing the underside of it right now instead, then that would make slightly more sense to me. Because it's like, oh, okay, the lasers are firing this way, but they're tilted because the screen angle's tilted. And we can see that, you know, they could still be above Strive or firing just above and below him because of Strive's angle. Giving him a little plane tail. Yeah. It's like a helicopter now. So just watch angle of Sung's lasers in relation to Strive. Like probably the easiest way to fix it would just be to adjust the lasers a little bit to make them fire more straight across the screen. Because I wouldn't want to interrupt your Strive movement.
I think either that or like the bottom one could be angled down so it's like it's firing up and firing down rather than both of them coming from a source. sort of lower.
Yeah, because to me, they're kind of showing us what the grid of the scene is, in a way. Okay, so this is all one shot, right? This is all one movement, I'm assuming?
Yeah, I think the point of this shot is to focus on Strive, the pilot.
Yeah, so we're rotating around the ship. And then Strive is kind of going away naturally because the camera's moving faster than Strive is, but then Strive like puts on a boost of speed. I think it probably just needs a few more panels to really show that Strive is gearing up to come closer to the screen again. Because at the minute it feels like he's moving away, and then suddenly he's super close again. So I think just a few more panels to describe that movement. So you go back, and maybe just have one more of him cushioning back slightly more so we can see that momentum slowing down, and then start having come forward, and then you can cut straight to this where they're super close to the screen. I think that'll just help to make it super clear what's happening. Describe movement here with one or two more panels. Just turning this off so I can see the grid and everything. Also, yeah, another thing which I think you could really do to amp this board up is because we're meant to be feeling like we're going super fast. I think a few speed lines on the edge of a screen would really help. So here the camera's fixed, so maybe not here, but as Strive goes past the screen and we start following, just having some like implications of wind speed would be great. No, there's no wind in space, but it will help it feel fast, like even if it doesn't necessarily make complete scientific sense. It's something that we did in Turtles a lot, was when there's something which is happening where there's like extreme speed or force, having this kind of thing, following your grid if possible. I can't see the grid very well here, I'm not sure if I'm following it, but having this kind of thing coming off the screen is super helpful. And then this would change with however the movement direction is favouring. And something that I would do on shots like this, where we're kind of spending a long time in the same setup, is I'd do one speed line layer, and then I'd animate that. Every 3 frames I would flip it horizontally, and it'd create the impression that there are different drawings of this happening, making it feel like speed lines are rushing past you, where in actual fact you've only done one drawing and you're just flipping it back and forth every couple of frames. Speed lines will add velocity.
That's a cool trick.
Yeah. Also, one of the things that we did on Starlight Brigade, which really helped, because you're setting everything in space, and space is very nondescript, so it's kind of difficult often to know like how you're oriented and where you are geographically, you know, because it's just blackness of the endless void of space with stars in it. Is when we were going to have a battle or something, we tried to set up a stage where we could tell where everyone was by using landmarks. So what we had was, we were like, okay, they're going to charge from the rebel base ship to the triangle, fighting void ships on the way. So we're like, okay, so here's the triangle. Here is, in fact, let me just adjust the box a little bit. Here is the rebel ship. Here. And we're going to have an asteroid belt going all the way along this left-hand side of the screen. That way we can show that in the background of shots to orient the viewer as to where they are in space. You know? So I know that if they're flying towards the triangle and the camera is shooting this way, that we're going to have like flying towards it. And then we're going to have this asteroid belt in the background. And if you have something like that, you can like easily show distance and scale to it too. Like you can have them weaving in and out of it, or you could have it super far away. You could have so that it's closer at a certain point. But having stuff like that, whether you want to add like planets or, you know, whatever astral bodies you like, even if it's simply like you can see a galaxy far off, you know, screen left or something, having those laid out for you is going to help you have not just like a background of blackness, essentially. It's going to help you to have an actual stage set that they're going to fight on.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Set the stage. I hope you listen to this because a lot of my notes on your actual boards, the written notes, aren't terribly descriptive. They're just like one sentence and then a really fast doodle. Orient the viewer with landmarks. Landmarks. Yeah, because that was a big problem we had in the video. We were like, how are we going to make anyone feel like they know where the characters are? Because we could just, every single shot could just have the same like background. So that was super helpful.
We also had it space colored, one color on the left and one color toward the right.
Yeah, that's true. So that you could feel when you were getting closer to the triangle because we would up the color.
Yeah.
Yeah. Da 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 da. I didn't put a note here yet either, so keep horizon moving. Or what? It's more like a vanishing point. In this sequence. And then here, add more frames to dodge panels. It feels a bit fast.
So do you mean more frames as in like more exposures per frame?
Yeah, I don't mean more drawings.
Yeah.
I mean using the panels, the storyboard panels you already have, just add a few more frames to each of them so they're on screen a bit longer.
Cool.
No need for new drawings. I don't think you have all the drawings you need there.
Vert says, takes notes, put in things like the Eiffel Tower, the pyramids and road signs. Landmarks are awesome.
It's like this giant disaster is hitting all of the world's landmarks first. I love that bit in Cloudy where they're just cutting around the world and it's hitting like the Eiffel Tower, the Great Wall of China, like every big landmark is being hit first. So you see bits like this between these two panels where I feel like what you want to do or what you're trying to do is rotate the camera so that we're rotating around Strive as he's flying. Like, I think this is less Strive meant to be flying backwards and turning and more the camera coming around.
Yeah.
if I'm reading it right. Like, this is where you really want to be using that grid and your horizon line there to show that the camera's rotating around. Because otherwise, if you don't move that, it looks like the camera's staying still and Strive is kind of going backwards and turning.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the point where you're going to want to, like, shift that vanishing point way over here. You know, and sun would probably be mostly green at that point to really show that the camera is rotating around. Shift vanishing point with camera rotation. I haven't said yet, but I think like the action and everything on these boards is really cool. I think these boards are working really well. Like, it's basically one continuous shot as far as I can see. So I think it's really nice. Just keep a super eye on your staging and make sure that you're really framing everything. You know, you're moving into different compositions and different frames. Almost like you'd boarded it as separate scenes, but then you were linking them together. Like, you want to keep thinking about how you're using the on-screen space.
Yeah. Grog's saying, oh god, I'm really feeling like mine is super underboarded now. This has got so much life. And I was trying to put across the point that, so you've got storyboards and then you have animatic, and a timed animatic doesn't, like, storyboards don't necessarily equal that. I think with the use of things like Storyboard Pro, the line between what boards are and what an animatic is has started to blur a little.
Yeah.
So if you're at the point where you've thumbnailed and you boarded out compositions and shots and stuff, that is still storyboarded.
Yeah, storyboarding is all about storytelling.
Yeah.
So don't worry if you don't feel like it has as much life. The important thing is whether it conveys a story or not.
So since this is quite action heavy, there's more panels because it needs to describe how this object in space is moving.
Yeah, because remember, you can always add more panels. Like, that's not an issue, but getting the storytelling to begin with, that's the real challenge. So I was just going to say that it's nice to see some grids, but I think you could push the grids a bit more. Because at the minute, the grids feel quite shallow, in that everything feels quite close. And I think you could make the grids feel like they're pushing more depth into your scene. I've got my ruler. I found it.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
I've got to try and show you.
Oh.
Okay. It's a little tricky. Whoop. Don't slide. Like sliding all over the screen.
What did?
What this? Who dat? Like sitting on a rotating chair, trying to hold a ruler up to the screen and have it not slide around is surprisingly difficult. Oh, I didn't draw a line. Hold on. There we go. Drawing now. Oh, it's drawing now.
Are you doing like a top grid and a bottom grid?
A top grid and yes, I am.
Okay.
That is what I am doing. It took me a second to work out what you meant.
Upper and lower?
Because it's all coming out of like one vanishing point here, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So.
Yeah, so the spacing between each horizontal line is super important in communicating how it's receding into space. So I think by adding those, you can kind of see that it's very quickly going whoosh into the distance.
Yes, it is. If only I could get this to draw. It's drawing. Yes. Awesome. There we go. It's happening. And then you'd have more lines in between those. This is difficult, so I'm not going to put all the lines in. But, you know, you can also even have it so that you have some horizontals. Showing that we are kind of favoring the lower part of the screen, and as we look up, things are receding away from the screen. So, like, really using it to describe the space. In fact, I think I would bring these closer together. Oops, in the middle here. Oh my gosh, this is so hard to do. I think that would be about right.
I'm a little confused. Which one is your, like, vanishing point horizontal line? Can you make that a different color for us?
I don't actually have it.
Oh, okay.
Like, I tend to draw either side of it.
Right, okay. So it would be in the middle.
Yeah.
In that gap, okay.
So I tend to do, like, say this is my vanishing point. Then I will put 2 lines here.
Okay, just so it doesn't get super noisy at the middle.
Yeah, like that.
Gotcha. Interesting.
Great. See you next note. There you go. So I just put push space.
Push the space of your
Push
space.
that space. All right. Awesome work, Zeb. Nice job.
Nice job.
Nice job. We go on to the next one.
Sure.
All right. This is from Dapper Tetu, sorry, on Twitter. I don't know why I saw an R. Let's go! The what? Oh! Nice. So we're zooming into the back wall, and then we're seeing this this person pushing the brick out, and then looking around.
Cool.
And I'm assuming that the skeleton is going to be threatening, in terms of they don't want to be seen by the skeleton. Skeleton bad. So, I mean, you guys know what I'm going to say first. Is I would think about your grids. Set up that room so it's really clear where everything is. It was a better song in my head.
Ooh, 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 ooh.
Let's see. Let me put it down to 25%. Yeah, so like really make sure you set this space up. And if it comes to if the point of your shot is to show that the skeleton is like super scary and intimidating and kind of blocking the room, then I think you could come up with a more imaginative setup for that in terms of your scene composition.
Let me see if they said anything.
Oh yeah, geez, we didn't even look at the notes. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Yeah, tell me what the notes are, geez. We're terrible at this.
I learned I can get too caught up in trying to perfect the setting and character design within the storyboard instead of capturing the bare bones of what I need. Hence why this took several hours to make.
Yeah, I think you want to come up with shorthands for your characters, you know, and it doesn't even if you end up with your person in the wall being like this, like so long as you can get the layouts you want and try different things with it quickly, that's the important thing, because you want to focus on the storytelling less than the drawing. So I think you hit the nail on the head there. Because when it comes to me thinking about having this back wall and this skeleton like obscuring their way out, you know, I'd be tempted to do something more like evil skeleton is...
Ben's suggesting that it might be a skeleton slumped against a pillar, but...
It looks very active to me though. I mean, this
it looks like it's holding the sword and standing.
This is its legs, right? So it doesn't look like it's slumped, if that's what it's meant to be. If it is meant to be slumped, I'd probably do something more like... Oh no. What happened to me?
Oh no.
Oh, my shield. My sword. Oh no. You know. But yeah.
Well, you know, this is good advice for like if you wanted the to more communicate that skeleton slumped, but we can go. I think we should go with what your original feedback is on how to establish this skeleton as a threat.
I think this is why it's important to really like clarify the posing and the composition to support what it is you're trying to say in the shot. Is to make it, the point of the board is to make it so clear that no one can really misunderstand what the intent is or what's going on. Unless you want them to. Like, unless you're deliberately trying to subvert viewer expectations. Like, you want to tell the story, so you want it to be as clear as possible.
Yeah.
So I'd probably have something more like this. With the back wall back there. You know, you could even go bigger and have, like, sword being held. Well, let me do a new thumb for it. This is what I do when I'm boarding. I do like 1,000,000 thumbs. If you have like the sword here. And if I go like, got my sword. Oh, I'm gonna kill anyone who comes by! And then you have the wall in the background. Then you can zoom through the skeleton. Like this. To get to that wall. So rather than the skeleton just being off to the side, you like kind of zooming up to this. You can have the skeleton at the ready looking threatening with the sword in the scene. And the skeleton can kind of dwarf with its threatening aura the frame. And we have to zoom past the sword and the skeleton to get to the wall. This would be like panel 2 to see that something's happening there at the wall behind the skeleton. Like someone's poking their head out. This is someone pushing the stone out. That is a gap in the wall. You know, before you reveal that it's someone who's pushed the stone out and is coming through. But yeah, really play with the composition. You know, try different things.
Yeah.
How many verts do we have in chat right now?
2.
2. One day we'll get the holy trinity of verts. All in here. But yeah, there's a ton of different things that you could do. You know, you could use the skeleton's shadow on the wall to really create like a spooky Nosferatu-esque shadow that's looming over where they push the brick out. You could have a ton of different stuff. So rather than just think of like a very neutral framing like this, maybe think more about what you wanna say.
Yeah.
And add more depth.
One of the things that's contributing to the neutral feel of this overall composition is the amount of scale each element has in the frame. They're all roughly equal, and therefore nothing is given any more immediate importance. So the back wall is around about the same size of a drawing as the skeleton, as the same size of the flag and the bricks at the front, and that means there's no, like, without any notes or indication, since we don't have any, we're not sure what is the
intent.
The intent of this framing. So when India is suggesting thumbnailing these other ideas, it's pushing and pulling which one of those is more important. So in the instance of like maybe that top left one, the skeleton is way more in the foreground, bigger scale, because it's like, here, look at the skeleton, and then in the secondary element is the wall behind it, which then takes focus.
Yeah, like, you could immediately make this feel more dynamic by just having these foreground stones be bigger and more of a framing element.
Yeah.
They even have like little spiders.
Okay.
Don't you okay me in that disappointed tone. It's important. Having some stuff like that, and then really like maybe bringing the horizon down a little bit on this back wall. Unless you want it to feel like a really vast room, which you could. But I'd definitely say pushing those elements, maybe making the back wall feel a little bit smaller by comparison. Oh look, we've got a spider here. So like, really push that. Have like, I am a spider. I am just sitting here.
Where's the spider?
Here, I'm drawing it.
What, in the original composition, or were you just being like, I can put a spider here?
Oh, I think that's a spider.
Isn't that okay? I thought
What do you think it is?
I thought it was a flag.
Oh,
And a
think you're right.
flagpole.
I think you're
and
right.
An emblem.
Well, you could have a spider there going ha cha 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 cha. Or you could have the flagpole, which I'll draw now.
I like that I have like +4 to drawing interpretation. You're on like a +2.
You have really high perception, passive perception.
And you have it's a spider though.
I see what I want to see. Is that a spider? It's probably a spider, right?
If you want to put a spider. I love how it's like, is this a flag or a spider?
Like that meme. Is this a spider?
There's this. Is there a meme that's, is this a spider?
There's a meme that's, is this a? And it's that anime guy like holding his hand out to the butterfly.
Oh, right, yeah. Okay, yeah.
I'm trying to get perspective on this flagpole. And I'm wishing that I had my ruler. Yeah, pushing those foreground elements a bit. Maybe if the skeleton isn't the focus, pushing the skeleton back a bit in terms of the scale. Oh, brutal.
Yeah, but like, India's not using that many lines, and they're pretty terrible, but they're pretty clear.
Thanks.
I did in the pretty terrible just to like put it, jabber a little bit.
How dare you?
But they're pretty clear what they're meant to be. I think one thing I would say with this is that have a focus on clearing up what your drawings are a little bit more.
Me.
Like when we get to the point where it's the girl coming through the wall, they all become super clear, but this establishing shot is a little bit open to interpretation. So you just want to lock those things down and be like, there's a brick.
I haven't done a great job either with this flag, because essentially what you can do is, if you're going to be adding in elements like this, you kind of want everything to be pointing towards the focus, right?
You can, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, the whole point of the composition is to draw your eye to where you want. So in terms of the flagpole, I would probably have it more like...
What I'm saying is you don't necessarily always want every element in your composition to be pointing at something.
Oh, but you do want to craft your composition intentionally.
Yeah, so that's why I said you can, yes.
Yeah, but
rather than yes.
Even if you don't, you still want to be thinking about that as an option, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, even if you decide not to have all your elements point towards, you know, wherever you want your audience to look, you still want to be thinking, like, how do I get my audience to look here and how do I frame it nicely?
Yeah, composition, yo.
Either way. So I'd probably have the flagpole point more like this, so that it's acting like a framing device and a pointer to our skelly dude.
Yeah, storyboarding's like 5 parts composition, 6 parts storytelling, 2 parts sadness. What other parts is
fear?
Fear. 8 parts of fear.
8?
Yeah.
At least 12.
At least 12 parts of fear. Solid drawing. It's a couple of parts.
See?
300 parts spider.
Yep.
90% procrastination, but you got to be thinking about it.
Look to frame main subjects. Spielberg is like a master at framing things in pleasing ways. So, if you want study material, look at him. He does a better job than I do. The thing I don't like about what I'm doing at the minute is that the left and right side feel very even in terms of the foreground elements and the weight they have on screen. So I'd probably play with that more, essentially. Like, I might have the flag be more off screen here and just show the tip of it or something, so it feels like a little less intrusive onto the screen. But if you can work fast, you can trial out a lot of ideas very quickly. And then I think I mentioned before grid. But yeah, grid. Like, make sure you know what's going on with your planes. What's going on with them planes, y'all?
Yeah, you got a little bit of an ortho thing going on here, which is like all of the lines are a little bit parallel.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't do that in...
It makes it feel like an isometric video game.
Yeah. Which is cool if that's if that's intentional.
Yeah, if you're boarding like a dungeon crawl adventure and you want it to feel like an isometric video game, that's one of the things you would probably do. But as is, I'm assuming you probably don't want it to feel that way. You probably want it to feel more dimensional. So I mean, obviously that's not the floor plane, but getting a grid in there so you can really tell where the floor plane is. So for example, if this was my grid, I'd know now that the back wall needs to sit on a slight angle. It can't just be flat, which is how I feel like you are currently implying it is. I feel like it's currently implied to be like this. But really like laying out what that grid is. And feel free to use 3D software if you need to like figure out what the grids are. But you really want to figure them out. Figure out the grids. At least the floor plane, since you have characters actually standing on it, and you have things lying on the floor plane, and you have the bottom of the wall, the floor plane is like the most important thing for you to work out. Because you have a bunch of stuff that's going to be coming off that.
Yeah. So
then we zoom in. So if this skeleton is slumped, then, like, I think this is totally fine to have this this be pushed out, because I'm assuming that if it wasn't slumped, if it was awake and active and looking to murder, they probably wouldn't want to push the stone outwards because of the noise it would make hitting the ground. So showing them be a bit more furtive when they're pushing the stone out of the wall, if the skeleton is indeed awake, would be good, I think. If not, then I think it's fair just to have them push it out. But I think it might be nice to have more of a reveal where, rather than have the hand come round the side of the stone, because this does kind of feel like a reveal the way you say it up, in having it zoom into the empty wall first and then have this come through his hand and then to show the face. I think it would be nice just to show the stone shuffling its way out on its own, so the audience is like, what? And then behind it we reveal that this person's pushed it out. Also, I'm not sure how they'd get their hand really around the stone like that without pushing it out first, at least a little way. So I think it would be cool for the tension of the scene if you showed it slowly being shuffled out by something pushing it from behind, and then you can save that reveal of who has pushed it for once it's fallen away.
Oh yeah. Cute sea trout artwork says, I still remember that one whip footage you guys of you folks working on the library background for the Night in Woods fan animation being made in the 3D software first. But yeah, 3D software helps.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that was because India was like, can you paint a banana pan? And I was like, no. But I can model a 3D environment and move the camera. She's like, can you not just paint it though? And I was like, you'll see. You'll see.
I'd like to do more stuff with you on a 3D background.
Yeah.
Save reveal of characters for next shot. It reminds me very much of the Black Cauldron. I think it's just because it's like what looks like a young child kind of escaping out of a castle full of skeletons with like a floating magic entity with them. There's something very Black Cauldron about it. So I'd say here just be careful of this character's anatomy. Like, it's going to be impossible for that hand to come up unless it's this hand coming around like this.
Which is not because of the thumb.
Yeah. Like, I can't figure out a way that the elbow would be across this way in any kind of comfortable way.
Maybe she's using someone else's hand.
Maybe there's someone else down there. So maybe could err on the side of something a bit more like this. So it feels a bit more natural. Or you could just reposition her completely to like get that hand on the side of the wall and just make sure her shoulders kind of reflect that pose. You know, maybe something a bit more like if a hand was behind the wall like this. And you had the gap here. So that would work a little bit better. To have the elbow pushed in the opposite direction. And again, grids. Grids are super important, even on shots like this. Because if I put the grid, if I say the horizon line is here, and the vanishing point is, say, here. Oh.
And everything above the horizon line.
The horizon line.
Everything below the
horizon line. I admit that probably wasn't very clear for anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that if this is where the corner, let me change brush, the corner of this is, then we're gonna see, because it's above the horizon line, we're gonna see the top of the stones.
The bottom of the stone.
That's the one I meant.
Oh my gosh.
You see how it's going along the perspective
You
lines.
thought it was only left and right, but it turns out it's also top and... Where'd
Bottom.
that alert go? I give her the follow. What is going on? See, that's why I'm building my own stream overlays, because I'm tired of things failing.
And look at this. Guess what? This is below the horizon line. Use your thing to go along the things.
Horizon line.
Horizon line. Very, very slight indication of the top of the stones. Because it's very,
Oh.
very close.
Yeah.
And we'd also see this side of the stones here. So this is why gridding's important. You know, it's also going to show you if you're going to have a slight low angle on the character's face as well. So, you know, just figure that out so that you can draw things showing that perspective and reinforcing it. Perspective and grids.
An anatomy you're comfortable with.
Oh yeah, let me just put a note here saying what should happen to me.
Okie dokie, next.
Wait! I spelled anatomy wrong. I put anatome. Yeah, I like the acting. They're like, has anybody heard me? Does anybody know I'm here? I'm just seeing if there's anything else that I should call out or say.
Oh no, oh dear.
You're laughing at my slumped skeleton.
Yeah.
Remember that if it is meant to be slumped, apply the same note anyway. Even if it's slumped, I think you could do something to reshuffle the composition here to show that more. Like whether it's meant to be, this is a dangerous place, look, people have died here. Or whether you're meant to be like, this is going to be super spooky. You want to choose the point you're trying to make with the scene and then really use all the elements in the scene and the framing to say that.
Mm-hmm.
So even if the skeleton's not getting ready to attack, framing that slumping skeleton in a way that really emphasizes the point of your scene is your mission.
Yeah.
Your Majesty, you binged on Cheez-Its today. I hope that was good. We used to call them Whatsits in the UK. Well, I bet we still do, because I bet Whatsits are still a thing.
Yeah, probably. I haven't had them in years. And
now we have Your Majesty a cloud in chat. Do you have an @ that we can pop on this for you? What are you on Twitter? I always forget. Are you Your Majesty a cloud on Twitter as well? Whatsits are really good, aren't they? I haven't had Whatsits since I was in school. They're so good though.
they're terrible.
What?
I don't like Whatsits.
It should appear when the video plays. Okay, and there's music. Cool, I'll turn it on. Whatsits are great, Mike. What's wrong with you?
Nothing is wrong with
Do you
me.
like skips?
Skips are okay.
Skips are great. Whatsits are great.
No.
Pom bears are great. Oh yeah, the commentary. Let's do the commentary first. Like,
A link to the commentary? What do you mean?
Your Majesty says there should be a link in the submission for the commentary. Don't be scared. You've already seen, you've seen what we've said about other people's.
It's a whole page of stuff.
Do you want to link it over to moi, or do you want to handle it?
I'll link it to you.
We could dual screen again, or I'm going to look at it first without having read the commentary, so that we can see what reads just from.
Yeah, I think that
The
makes
boards alone.
sense.
And then we can check the commentary afterwards.
Yeah,
Have you sent it to moi?
I'm doing
It's
it.
so slow.
I'm so slow.
I've got Black Swan in my head now. Da 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 dum. Do 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 do. Ba ba da da ba ba da ba.
Psycho-
Yeah.
Psycho is sending virtual hugs.
Aw, thanks, Psycho.
Thanks, Psycho.
So here we are. This is the document, but I will not look at that yet. I do not see with my eyeballs. We'll look at this first, and then we'll check it out. Let's do it. Do you have the music all ready to go, Mike?
If you've unmuted it, I do.
Cool.
Wait,
Oh,
I have to pause the other music. Okay.
okay. Oh, I see some Sailor Moon. Let's watch it again. Awesome. Nice work, anime. Man, it's so cool to see how much work you guys have done on this project as well. Like already. Let me just mute that music while I scrub. Initially I'd say I'd love to see some of the scenes are so fast and rough that it's hard for me to parse what they are upon first viewing.
Mhm.
So I'd say probably some things are maybe reading a bit too fast, but you might be able to allay that by having them be very easy to read, striking images that don't really move. Then you would probably be able to read them okay. But let's go through shot by shot. So we have hand reaching, and then another hand grabs, and I really like what you're doing here, interspersing these images to link the meaning of Starlight Brigade and joining together. Like, that's super cool. I mean, you guys, I saw you do it later too, so I know you guys picked up on that in the initial Starlight Brigade, where Strives reached up for the star, and as he grasps it, his gem reignites, and we do that fast cut between the two.
Mhm.
So like, I like the language on that a lot. It's something I really enjoy doing myself. And look, there you are! And then we have this Sailor Moon sequence, which I recognise from Sailor Moon. Beautiful drawings. I love Sailor Moon so much. It's so good. I'm going to make you watch it with me, Mike.
Why did you make that sound so threatening?
Because you'll keep trying to get away from me trying to show you
No,
things
I
like
don't.
Cardcaptor Sakura and Sailor Moon, but I will do it.
Well, Cardcaptor Sakura is a terrible show.
It's
so-
not. It's great. You've seen one episode and you fell asleep through the second. You're not allowed to judge it yet.
Oh, the snort. I'm just joshing. Pablo's like, how dare Doig. I fell asleep because it was very late. I didn't fall asleep because of the show.
Yeah,
So
again.
Sorry, are you saying that part where it's like the character arching back, that's a
Yeah, this
Sailor
is.
Moon thing?
It's a Sailor Moon transformation sequence.
Oh, okay.
And then we have interspersing between the hand grabbing and the and Strive in the background, laying over where his gem would be with where the hands are. I'd say... No, I do like the open hand there. I was worried that the open hand might be one too many layered things, but I think it depends how you show it, like in the final thing. I think for the boards...
Different colors will help you.
Yeah, maybe like make it semi-transparent or like a light blue or something. Something so that it feels a bit faded into the background and doesn't overcomplicate the main drawing too much.
Yeah, think about what your primary idea is, what your secondary idea is, what your tertiary idea is, and make them, like, the opacities match that.
Yeah. And then we have this Sailor Moon sequence continue.
There's a child inside.
There's a child inside! And then I like this, how it turns into the Starlight Brigade emblem. It's cool, and then we pan up. And it's like a mirror of the shot when Strive gets up and reactivates his powers. Oh, Mike's doing squats. Did you guys give him squats? Yeah, nice. He's squatting. Mike's now talking about how we could ban everyone who gives him exercises. Except this time, Strive looks happy. And then we zoom outwards into this shot. And I really like this, how there's like a beam that comes out and then the prism splits on the windshield. I think that's a really cool idea. Okay, I see. And then this is one of the shots which I don't think I read super well. So this is the prism coming out of the windshield and then Sung's also flying along beside. I think probably doing a shot like this where you have the background of space is one of the things you probably want to avoid colouring in this way in boards, because one of the main intents of boards is just to make things as clear as possible. So, you know, having more of like, this is Sung's ship, this is Strive's ship, and then these are the beams, and you can do the beams in different colours. But immediately, like, this sketch is more readable. And I think you need to prioritise readability on the boards.
Yeah.
To really make sure that it's easy to tell what's going on at a glance. Whatever you can do to make it more readable, like, is a good. If I ever put, like, a background into the boards, I tend to put very, very, like, light grey, because then you can still use white to show the stars, but it doesn't overpower your line work. So, like, this would be like the extent of the grey I would put on it, with this whitewash over the top.
Yeah, because currently in that frame, your eyes will ping to the two stars in the center because they're white on black, and you're like, I meant to be looking at. Oh wait, no, there's something happening in the bottom left corner, and it's gone. Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be looking at the ships anyway, because previously my eye has been here. So I'm going to be looking there. So I'm essentially just going to be looking at the beams of rainbow rather than the ships.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's important nevertheless to have the ships clear so we can tell exactly what's going on with them.
I think you previously established that Sung was on the right side of
Very true.
Strive.
In which case, do you see, this is one of the problems. This is something, actually, JJ was saying this just the other day. He was talking about what he calls the car problem, where you're shooting people inside cars, but you can't do shot reverse shot because it would change the direction that the car's moving. But you also need to make sure that you keep people on the same side as one another. So like here, I'd say you could flop this composition so that we're looking the other way. But if you do that, then it breaks the direction that you've established they're travelling in. Because if you flopped it, then it would now look like Strive is travelling from right to left. So I think you would have to reboard this bit. So Strive would instead look over this way.
I think it'd just be easier to change Sung to be behind Strive in the previous shot, but that's just me.
Yeah, I mean, that would be the easiest thing. But if not, then you could have Strive look over this way, and then you'd have to reboard this bit a little bit to show it differently. But yeah, I think Mike's right. The easiest thing is probably just to change their orientation here. And I think this is one of the things about making sure it's super clear. Because here you can't really tell who's in front of who. Well, you can because of Strive's trail. So that's one thing just to clarify in this shot, is make sure that you know who's in front of who. And let me just put a little note here. Boop, boop, boop. Sung on left or right?
That's music.
I'm not going to critique this because this is my shot. Whoever boarded this has no clue what the hell they're doing. Calling myself out. I really didn't have a clue what I was doing, but I'm glad that it seemed to work. So then this is the back of Strive's head. Yeah, we're definitely establishing.
Really fast.
Yeah, we're definitely establishing here as well that Strive is on the left and Sung's on the right. So watch Strive's scale here, because Strive is going to be way more like, I'm a flying. Look at me go. I'm a real boy. Whoa. More like this. Did his head too big. And yeah, I think this is one of the shots that I found really hard to read, especially this bit at the end here, just because, let me have a look. Yeah, that's basically 3 drawings more or less on 2s. The last one's a 3. But that's just so fast. I think you need a bit more time for that to read. I know you might not feel like you have time in the song for it, but you might just have to sacrifice another shot for it. Like, you might have to sacrifice the flashback here. I mean, it might be a nice thing to sacrifice. Oop. Samurai, thank you very much for the raid.
Hey, welcome.
I was just going to say, maybe this is like a good shot to cut. Young Strive. Not only because it's also like extremely short. It's only on there for like, how many frames? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22. So it's just over a second. But I'm not exactly sure what the story is, but if the implication is that back here, him remembering things from the past and flashing back to the past kind of gives him the power and incentive to push forward and realise what's important, then from there, it makes sense to have him just continue to move forward rather than flashing back. It feels like the time for flashing back was probably when he was at the point where he was pulling back stuff from his past to give him the motivation to move forward. But now that he's done it successfully and he's moving forward, it's probably better to flesh out this shot, which shows him and Sung moving forward together, than it is to have the flashback to the past again. But maybe you were going for something else, in which case you should do whatever serves your story best. But I do think that either way, this shot is reading a bit fast at the minute and needs some clarification. So what I'm kind of seeing at the minute is that maybe the beams of light and rainbow are still traveling ahead, and he and Sung like warp off together into like a star. So if not, then you might just need a bit more clarification on this. So remember to really like, you know, flesh out. Whoops, I keep drawing on the wrong frame, it's the worst. There we go. Really like flesh out your grids. Make sure you know what the perspective is, know what you're doing in terms of the layout of the scene. I know it's like what people may think of as the boring stuff, but it's like the bedrock of your storytelling.
It's what your background artists are going to need to know what you're meaning and what they have to draw.
Well, it's like if you use this to your advantage, it can up your storytelling like 10 times to be able to properly like understand the geography and frame stuff in your shot in a way which is like super appropriate. It's like figuring this stuff out is going to help you draw your ships too. Because we know exactly what the perspective is on them. Like whether you want that wing to like come super close to the camera or not. Like you can play with stuff like that, which is always super fun. But yeah, definitely work out the composition and maybe give this shot a bit more time. Work out perspective and give panels more time to read. Panels! I put an M in panels. More time to read. I was thinking about writing more at the same time. That's why. Okay. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. So then I'm assuming that this is Strive. This is a fine shorthand, like, but this is why a lot of times in boards people would choose different colours to illustrate different characters. Mm-hmm. Because you can have a drawing like this, which is totally fine for a board, by the way. But if it's blue, then you're like, Strive. If it's yellow, you're like, it's Sung. Mm-hmm. You know? But one thing I would say is even on shorthands, just make sure you show like what the orientation is. Yep. Because they could be, I'm assuming they're facing towards...
Like, yeah, that was an assumption.
Yeah, towards us, but I don't know for sure.
Like, it could be someone looking up, leaning back, looking at something top left.
Yeah. Could be anything.
It could be someone facing top right.
So just crosshairs, super helpful. And then we have this shot here, this end shot, which looks like it's the star erupting rainbows on a planet or in a shipyard. I just think the last couple of shots here are reading really fast. So I think probably what you want to do is choose one or two that you think really like sell your point and really get the feeling that you're going for, and then spend more time on them.
Yeah.
To tell the story. Let me just check through again and look out for things like eye trace. Oh, also I was going to say, like, I love Sailor Moon and I love this sequence, but I think when it comes to like using reference and stuff, you do want to change it like just a little bit to make sure that it's more in character and more particular to your boards and your thing that you're doing. So I would take influence from Sailor Moon, but I would change the posing and the compositions and stuff to more reflect like what this moment is and what you're trying to say. So for example, if it is you know, if it is to do with the gem, then you could have, for example, Strive clutching their gem to begin with the hair covering the face to show that they're not yet, like, properly awakened. Like, there's still something that's not quite right. And then when you burst forward, we can have, you know, light coming from that gem, and you can have more of, like, this kind of thing. So adjusting these movements to make them more personal to Strive. And I'd probably also, because this is such an iconic transformation sequence, like the movements and everything for this, you know, I'd look at different ways to subvert it and really make it your own. Like, what would it look like if you started close in on Strive instead and then zoomed away rather than zooming towards? You know, what if you had it play the other way around, where, you know, rather than rotating away from us, he's like rotating towards us? You know, what can you do to make this feel different and feel particular to Strive?
Yeah.
Because the reason that, like, these shoe shots and stuff work on Sailor Moon is because we're seeing her clothes change from the bottom of her feet up to the top of her head. So we're following that special effects and that transformation as it runs up her body. Whereas with Strive, we're just panning up his body because that's what happened in Sailor Moon. So you probably just want to make this feel, just make it more yours.
Yeah, there's a fine line between taking influence from inspiration and plagiarism. Just be careful.
I'm looking because I really like this. This composition, super nice. I'm wondering what we could do to make it like more Starlight Brigade. Like, we have this hand reaching motif. You know, you could have it so Strive is like, I'm just posing with my own hands. Reaching forward almost.
I think it comes down to what's being communicated. In each of these, it's like, is this the character, you know, finding what's important to them again, or finding I think with the hand clutching, it's like forming a bond. So is this like the internal what that bond means to the character?
Yeah, and if so, is it appropriate to have like the other members of the brigade or Sung, whoever he's connecting with, also involved in this? Like, if this is a depiction of kind of the inside of what's happening with Strive's soul at the minute, like, would it be appropriate to have Sung as part of this sequence as well? So you could have like hands reaching out, and then you could have like look up and hands close.
The commentary starts off by saying quite a few parts are partially traced since I did this in like a day, but they'll be less heavily referenced later down the line. And the audio also needs to be updated for a more seamless cut of this part.
Yeah, like maybe a movement more like grasping or grabbing, or even something like making a triangle with the hands instead. It's a terrible hand I drew. Since the triangle is kind of like the Starlight Brigade logo, making a triangle around the gem might feel more appropriate to the moment. I'm just gonna put play with ideas. Pop it up. Yeah, like it might be cool to have Sung be part of this if the point of this sequence is that they are either joining together, becoming friends, uniting. Having this after that point not just be about Strive, but about both of them. Or about all of them if the entire brigade are involved. And then, yeah, just here, I'd have a little bit more of an anticipation before the arms go back. So I'd just have like... a, whoops. Burp, 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 burp. There's so many frames, I need to find the right one. Hold on. There it is. Just have Strive bundle up. Maybe even like over the gem. So that then when this movement happens, it's really like it feels like a release and like joyous.
Contrast.
Yeah, exactly. 100% contrast. You know? And then again, just make sure I think in this space it's a little bit less important. You might still want to know the perspective here just so that you know which parts of your character you should be drawing from above, which parts you should be drawing from below. Because your vanishing point will affect that. But I think definitely when you get to places like this in the board where Strive is in the ship, make sure you understand like your environment and the perspective and everything there. Like where's the vanishing point in this scene? Looking at the way that Strive is, I'd say it's probably like here-ish. Because it feels like everything below that line is kind of drawn as though you're slightly top down. So it's probably like this, maybe? What do you think, Mike?
It's a little... Yeah, it's a little unclear.
Yes, but I think clarifying it will help. I think it's somewhere around there, the vanishing point, probably.
I would put it lower.
You'd put it lower?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's just me.
How much lower do you think it would be? I mean, a nice thing to do thematically.
I feel like it's around about his waist. Or around his gem.
That's what I was going to say, is thematically it might be nice to put it centered on his gem. Like, to me, it feels like the shoulders and everything are being drawn from above because the neck is overlapping them here. Which is why I put it higher.
I think he's supposed to be leaning forward.
In which case, I'd probably just clarify that posing a little bit.
Although the head, like, thrusts back. I don't know, maybe it's like...
Yeah, it's hard to lean forward and thrust your head back.
That's true.
So
maybe
but yeah,
it's
either
like
way, I think clarifying that posing a little bit and just... Like, it might be nice to have this be the center point, just thematically. So that you can do your perspective based on that. So, work out set. By the way, guys, unlike me, use rulers and grid tools and stuff when you're doing your grids. Don't just draw them like I'm doing here. This looks awful. But yeah, work out set and perspective. I'm not sure what you're working in anime, but if you are working in Storyboard Pro...
I'm gonna guess that it's clip.
Okay. I know that clip has perspective tools as well, right?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, so here you want to swing this this round so that we can feel the camera rotating around Strive. You know, and here it would be off screen. And that's one of the ways that you can really make it feel like your character's moving through space. So it's super important to get those. Oh yeah, I was meant to be looking for eye trace. Sorry, I got distracted. I'm following the action, I'm following the action. Following the action, it's looking good. Like, since here, we're probably going to end up looking around here-ish. I think it would probably be good for the next scene to have Strive just slightly higher and more like this. So it's a bit easier to get our eyeballs over to him. Eye trace wise. And then this works because we're looking at Sung. And then from Sung, we go to here. Which I think is okay because we're going to be looking at the rainbow stripes right in the sky as Strive sweeps in.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's going to work. And then I think this could just do like either a bit more time or clarification, as I'm not exactly sure what the feeling is here. Like whether it's like a repeat of this feeling, or like whether he's going faster in the spaceship, or like what exactly it is. Like, is he looking to the future, to the horizon? I think it could just do with a little bit of clarifying for the intent of the scene. And especially if this is him and Sung uniting, I think it would be nice to show him and Sung together here.
Yeah.
Clarify intent of scene, I guess it would be. Make super clear. And you might need to make it last a bit longer as well. Just so that it's readable. In the time we have.
Yeah, that's one thing to boarding to music is that you've got a fixed duration and a fixed amount of time to deliver ideas within the space of the song.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, as always, like the main thing is like what you're trying to say, and if you're saying it in the best way visually that you can come up with at that point. And I definitely say that I think the main thing I'd have, I think boarding wise, it's all hanging together really well. The main thing just being clarifying some of those backgrounds and a bit of the geography of the scene and the grids and everything. I think in terms of like the shots hanging together, they work well and feel good. Some of the ones at the end are a bit fast to read properly, which is one of the things that I suffered from on Starlight Brigade as well, which I feel like I've learned from since.
Yeah, I think some of the shots and the cuts in Starlight Brigade.
Yeah.
A little bit fast. Particularly Tibbs' shot where the engine turns on. It's like,
what, the 6-frame shot?
Yeah. That one you're meant to feel more than see.
I've learned a lot since then though. About trying to pace things a bit better.
Sorry, Tib.
I mean, Tib didn't mind, I don't think, because it was 6 frames. But Tib was like, oh, I can do this in an afternoon. No problem. But yeah, making sure that those fast scenes read, making sure the geography is set up properly so you know where everything is. And then I just say, I'll read the document in a sec, but if the point of this is Strive uniting with his friends and Sung and the brigade again, then it feels very Strive-centric past the point where he does that. It would be nice to see like more of him and Sung together in these moments where it's looking at just Strive.
Yeah.
So that we're really reinforcing that before this point he's alone, and after this point he's not alone anymore. You know, so I'd almost be like, I'd feel like you could get that Sung influence into every single shot, so that it really hammers home the fact that Strive is not alone anymore, I'm assuming he was alone before this. Let's have a quick ping over to the document and have a look. Grids in space! Grids in space! Okay, so let's have a look. Quite a few, I'll just read it all out if that's okay with you, Anime. Quite a few parts are partially traced since I did this in like a day, but they'll be less heavily referenced later down the line. Audio also needs to be updated for a more seamless cut since it's shortened. Strive's crystal transforms to symbolise change in comparison to the start of the story. Okay. Crystal represents making peace with the unpredictability of the future. Still cracked, but with a new understanding that it's better to depend on hope and friendship than fear and isolation, even with the two wolves always inside you. There are two wolves inside you! Which one wins? The one you feed.
Thank you, pal bro.
Thanks so much, pal bro. I love that saying. Okay, so it's kind of an issue of him making peace with the unpredictability of the future is kind of like Strive realizing he can't control everything.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna make sure that I've got it. He can't control everything. He's just gonna go forward with the friends he has and hope for the best. And that's better than always worrying about the fact that you can't control everything.
I guess it's a restoration of optimism.
Yeah. And the root of that would be the fact that he is unsure what's going to happen in the future, so he's scared of it. Strive being able to beam his friends' locations through the symbolism of rainbows using Starlight Brigade. This ability doesn't have to stay if it doesn't work with other parts, can't be made clear enough visually, can just simply be a symbolic crystal by itself. Might read as making Strive too OP, a chosen one. Yeah. Okay, so let's see. So he's beaming his friends' locations. So that's what it's meant to be. Okay, I see. So are the rainbows starting at Strive and ending where his friends are? The third one is Moon. There are 3 wolves. I love Moon. Moon just wants to be where the party's at. Yeah, so Strive is the rainbows start where Strive is and end where the characters are. In that case, I think you could make it clear, but I think what you'd have to show is Strive, these rainbows emanate from Strive's gem and shooting off, and then I think you'd want to have each one hit a member of the team to show that they are going from Strive to the team. And then it's very clear what that connection is. And it's very clear then that if that's something that Strive and Sung are following, then it's clear where they end up. If you just show them shooting into space but don't show where the end is, then I think it's going to be very unclear as to what has happened, what the power actually is. I think there's a shot at the very end of them all converging together. Does that mean that all the characters are in one place?
I think they're all split up.
Because if they're all split up, then they wouldn't be all showing all the rainbows converging at the end, unless Strive and Sung have landed there.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
That might just be perspective.
This.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, because it implies that all the characters are either in one place, or this is Strive and Sung, and the rainbows are beaming out of them still to find the other members of the crew.
Is it on the document what that shot is?
It might be, but I haven't got to it yet.
Okay.
I'm just connecting this to the fact that we're saying he's able to beam his friends' locations through the symbolism of rainbows. So I think if you're using the rainbows to lead to them, then probably finding their locations through a screen doesn't connect to that idea. Those two ideas feel very separate to me. Like finding the locations through a screen, through the ship, and finding the locations through following the rainbow beams from Strive feel like two different things.
Yeah, pick an idea.
So yeah, so I think choose one and then go all into it. And if it doesn't match up with the person after you who's done it, then that's okay. You'll still have your section that makes complete sense within itself. You know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think showing the rainbows emanate and then them connecting to each member of the brigade will make it very clear what's happening. Let's see. So cracked crystal reflects imagery of division lines in seen from Starlight Brigade. I like the cracked crystal a lot. And yeah, when we did this shot in Starlight Brigade, we were essentially trying to ape the Starlight Brigade logo, as you can see here. That's why we chose to have like a downward V. Changed into Starlight Brigade insignia pattern, each teammate represented by colours of rainbow. Flashes of a younger kid's drive to show return to inner self, not suppressing that part of him anymore. Okay. I'm just thinking about that in terms of the that particular shot. Just because that particular shot in Starlight Brigade symbolised Strive grasping the star. So maybe rather than use that part, you could just another part with a young Strive that feels more connected to the current dilemma. Just because that part is like, it's very linked to the idea of grasping the inner fire within yourself. Rainbow streams lead up to lit up screen with friends' locations. Oh, okay, so the rainbows are leading to a screen which is showing the friends' locations. Feels to me like it would be simpler just to have it go to the friends themselves than to a screen with the locations of the friends on it.
Maybe the rainbow is shooting off into space, into world space, and the screen is showing where the rainbows have ended up. So the screen shows where the rainbows went to.
I think what's happening here. Sorry, Mike and I are also trying to catch up with the story at the same time.
I don't think it's shooting a beam at the screen and being like, look, that's where they are.
I think it is. I think well, you can clarify for me, Anime. It says here, rainbow streams lead to lit up screen with friends' location in shipyard. So I think this is the shipyard and all the rainbows are converging on a screen in the shipyard that is showing their location.
Yeah, but so the rainbows are in the world space shown through the window of the screen. Yeah.
No, I think there is a screen in the shipyard and we're seeing the rainbows go onto the screen. It would activate the screen.
Okay.
So we're not looking through the screen or seeing the screen. Imagine that you've thrown out a monitor and you're shooting a video of the monitor in the middle of a junkyard.
Right.
And then rainbows come down from the sky and hit the monitor that you've thrown out.
Okay.
And it activates.
Okay.
It's not like you're looking at the monitor and that's a shot. It's like there's a monitor lying on the ground.
Okay.
If that makes sense. Yeah?
I think so.
I think it's probably a little bit... I would err on the side of showing the beams hitting the other characters, but I don't know if this is... I mean, I think in your section that would make more sense overall to show that they've found where everyone is. But I don't want to step on your guys' story, so you guys should do whatever it is that you feel is best and that you are all happy with. There's something in me that feels like rainbows from Strive leading to an abandoned screen that shows the location of them is a little bit more of a jump. Where do the wolves come into this? They were there all along. Sung taking Strive's hand uses imagery in a similar way to kids. Strive's hand was during power-up scene in Star Brigade. I really like this. I think the symbolism of hands clasping one another is really good. Like, I really like that. I think you probably want to lean that way even more. And Strive's ship window uses prism is also very cool. I like that a lot. Especially because Strive's ship is kind of like an extension of himself. Yeah, exactly, Groggo. It would help clarity in regards to this section, but I don't want to like throw a massive spanner into your guy's story. So you can totally have it head to the screen and hit the screen. I just think it's a little bit harder to parse what's happening because it's less easy to draw a direct line to that logically with your head, with your brain. So yeah, this is more like a collection of the ideas that you were going for in this. Yeah, I like it. I would say, I mean, in terms of the board critiques, I've critiqued all the technical stuff I can think of. So the rest of it would just be me critiquing like the actual ideas. I don't necessarily want to do that because I like the fact that you guys are going with your own thing and doing your own story. Like, I think it's super cool that you're just spinning off and creating a thing. Like, that's super cool. I do think that when the hand linking is such a good, powerful image that I would love to see more of that. If that's the point, if that is the point, then I'd love to see more of Strive and Sung together in the following scenes to really draw the comparison between them not being together and then them being together. But if that's not the point, if the point is instead making peace with the unpredictability of the future, then I think it's fair enough for you to want to focus more on Strive.
Cool.
So him making peace with the unpredictability of the future is linked directly to him making friends with Sung, I'm guessing, and that's why the hand symbology is important to him making peace with the future. Whose spanners are these?
Do we have one more?
We do. I just wanted to round out by saying I think you did a great job, Anime. You had nothing to be nervous about. Like, I think in general, what I'm seeing most from the first three is just more of an emphasis on setting would be nice. Like, really clarifying location. Location and grids will make me very happy. Like, it's very tempting to just become focused on the characters and on the ships and everything, but... Huh? Yeah. But, well, what was I saying? It's tempting to become focused on the characters and the ships, but remember that storyboard is almost, like, it's mostly about composition and the storytelling that happens there. So making, like, very clear where everything is, what the size relationships are, how the movement's happening, it's like you're planning for the animator so they don't have to do any guesswork. The grid's always pleased, a swift one. Bring me the grids! More grids, children! Alright. I'm gonna head on to the next one. Awesome job, Anime.
Yay!
Awesome. It's so cool to see, like, Starlight Brigade stuff again. It's been so long. Well, if it's okay with you guys, can I grab a cup of tea before this last one?
Ask Evelyn.
Evelyn. Look at this beautiful grid, Evelyn. Look at it. Behold. Awesome. I'm going to grab a cup of tea.
Get me a juice.
I'll get you a juice, Mike. You guys also grab tea. Or Mike can amuse you with his... What are you going to do, Mike? You're going to juggle or regale them with tales of great adventure?
We're going to sit here silently and judge them.
Oh no. Wait, did Grog submit?
I did not get your submission.
There you
Grog.
go. That's something for you to troubleshoot while I get a cup of tea.
God damn it. It's not in there, I don't think. Do you want to do it through the form, or do you just want to send it over to... Yeah, just send it over Discord. DM me. Doig was just like, I don't like this one, delete. I did not. That is not what happened. Are you sure you submitted it to the right form? I swear to God on high. I did wonder, because I saw that you were like, oh, I got a thing, and I was like, oh, I wonder if Grog's gonna submit. Oh, I guess he didn't. These songs, man. Ah.
Under the dawn arisen of ultraviolet suns. Deep in the cave.
We haven't received a DMCA yet for playing twerp songs, so
Emergency transmission. Lighting up an empty screen. Beam from the planet of the galaxy queen.
sent an email to Dan yesterday and got a reply within 7 minutes. I was like, whoa. It was work related, but I thought it was kind of like cool.
There's an assassin on the run. I want him trapped.
Can we get some animated BTTV emotes in chat like Cat Jam? Yes. I can just add Cat Jam from like someone else's, can I? How do I think I removed BTTV from my setup.
What's wrong?
I should have specified that I wanted some tropical juice, but this is great. This is good. This is juice, just like I asked for.
I got Mike the wrong kind of juice. Sorry. I did not mean to. Did you get rugs? Got myself some Earl Grey, guys. It's great.
I got a DM from Grog.
Well, Grog did say DM is being sent. While I have a few sips of tea, how's everyone doing? Nice music choice. You guys, yesterday Mike and I had a quick juvie around the kitchen, and we rearranged our food drawer, and now I can fit all of my teas into it. And I got to stack all of my teas inside it, and I have so many teas, and it's great because now I have a tea wonderland.
I got it.
Well, I can open the drawer and I can see 20 different teas laid out before me, and I can choose which one I want, and it's great. And they're no longer all up on the highest shelf where I can't reach behind everything else. I got Mike tropical juice, but it's dilutant tropical juice, which wasn't the kind he wanted. Well, maybe I was exaggerating when I said 20 because I have more 10?
So much tea.
A lot. I have like Earl Grey caffeinated and decaffeinated. I have Ruli's breakfast. And then I have
Don't
like
listen.
4 different herbal
Don't
ones
listen.
and a sleep
You
one
don't-
and
You don't need to go there.
green tea, and I have some special teas from Elle that she gave me a while ago that I'm still working my way through.
Yeah, you got them all back because you found them on the top shelf.
Yeah.
I
I
say-
can't reach it.
I say top shelf. It's the one shelf, but it was pushed
But
to
it's
the
high
back.
up. It's high up and my arm doesn't go that far.
It's really funny to realize how I can place things out of your reach.
It's not.
It is though.
It's sad.
'Cause I don't think about it. I'm just like, I'll put this here,
No
and
one
then it
thinks
is
about
like,
it.
wow, 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 and you're like, I can't reach that. Can you get that for me?
I'm gonna put all of your stuff like somewhere you can't reach to, and we'll see how funny you think it is then.
Are you a T-Rex?
No, I'm just very short. My arms are proportionally okay to my body in terms of being a human, but my entire body is rather small, so
I think you're not as small as people think you are by how much we say how short you are.
yeah, I don't think so either, because when we met people in real life, they were like, I was expecting you to be shorter. I'm 5'3", a respectable 5'3". Dark pulled terrible jokes. Initially, the shelf was fine. That shelf has always been too high. And it's fine, because both my flatmates can reach it. I just can't. Feels like your mic's height, 5'7". 5'7". 5'7".
I'm not
5'7".
5'7".
You're 5'7".
I'm not 5'7".
What do you mean you're not 5'7"?
I'm not 5'7".
How tall are you?
I'm at least 5'8" or 5'9".
He's lying.
I'm
He's not nearly
lying.
6 feet tall.
India, there's like 12 inches in a foot.
Yeah?
So there's like,
You're not 5'9".
okay, I'm at least 5'8".
Maybe you're 5'8".
I haven't been measured in a long time, so I might have shrunk.
Yeah, 5'4" is not mini. Neither is 5'3". Respectable. Respectable. Your Majesty, you think you're almost 5'9"? You're so tall!
Like,
I'll give you short hugs so you can give me tall hugs.
like how tall do you think my head is?
How tall do I think your head is?
Yeah, it's important.
I don't know.
Guess.
A foot? I don't know.
A foot.
How? I don't know. Yeah, sure.
Because I can rest my chin on your forehead
Okay,
when I'm standing like neutrally.
right? You can't. Show me.
Where's my chin, India? Where is my chin?
So his chin does touch my forehead, but it's not on top of my head. My
I
head's
didn't
too
say.
tall.
I didn't say it was on top of your head.
He attacked me. It was. You guys should have seen it. It was completely unprovoked.
Where is Doig's chin?
It's on my forehead. I have it now. It's mine.
So I'm just saying, like, from here up, how tall is that?
I don't know, like a foot. How big's a foot?
12 inches, I
How
thought.
big is 12 inches? Hold on, I have a ruler. I have a ruler.
If from here to here is a foot
Okay,
by your
come over.
estimation,
Come over here, I have a ruler.
then I'm 6
Come
foot.
over. I have a ruler. Okay.
6 foot
So
2
these
or
are
something.
inches, right? On this side.
Are you honestly asking me which side is inches on your ruler?
I know which side is inches is the one I just looked at. I was right. Yep. So come over. Come over. Alright. From your chin. Wait a second. How tall from my forehead to the top of my head? Okay, so like 3.5 inches is from my forehead to the top of my head. So let's see. So the top of your head is like 8.5 inches. So take away from about 3.5 inches, and you're 5 inches taller than me, which makes you 5'8".
If you were 5'3".
I am 5'3". I remember distinctly because I thought I was 5'5" till I was about 20, and then someone measured me and I was like, no! I've been living a lie, or I've shrunk.
So therefore, if you hold that you are 5'3", then I must be 5'8".
Yes. You're 5 inches taller than me. There we go. We've solved the mystery.
We scienced it, you guys.
Alright, I'm ready to look at more boards now. Did you manage to grab... Did you grab grobs? Did you?
I grab grubs, yeah, it's done.
Cool. Science!
You have to refresh though.
Let me do it. Refresh. I see it. Alright, let's have a look-see. This is Evelyn's. From Evelyn Art Studio. This is cute. Okay, I'm not 100% sure what the story is. Oh wait, I do see what the story is. Okay, that's really cute. Okay, so the story is... Do you know the story, Mike? Do you get it?
They drive to Batman's cave.
Yep, that's it. You got it.
Or
Or...
they drive back. No, that's the turtle tank, isn't it?
Yeah, it's totally the turtle tank. Or it's just a tank. So let me just have a look. Let me have a look, see. So yeah.
Like the cave opening.
Huh?
Cave opening.
The cave opening? Oh! I thought that was a shadow. But in actual fact, it is not. Yes, this is a 5-board challenge. I'm gonna ask you to add more panels, so you're gonna get annoyed at me. So I'm gonna suggest that you add more panels. I think it would make it better. But I also understand and appreciate that this is a 5-board challenge, and I think you did really well. Okay. So road trip was the prompt. So one of the main things I'm seeing here is you set up in this scene here, this yeah, you could call it a scene. In this scene, you set up that they are traveling from left to right, and in the following scene, traveling from right to left. So, in terms of like direction of travel, you want to keep those consistent if possible. So I think you could probably just flip this scene, to be honest, Evelyn, because there's nothing in the previous scene to make you feel like they need to be traveling either explicitly left or right, because they're more kind of just going away from the camera like this. Whereas here you make it very explicit. So if you just flip that, then in the next scene where they're traveling in this direction to get into the Batcave, then it won't be jarring. You won't be like having characters move one way, then the other way, then the other way, then the other way. And it makes sense with this scene too, because the turtle tank is like parked this way. Yeah. Which makes sense. I'd say in this scene, I think you could make it a bit clearer. I think this is why I didn't 100% understand what was happening first time through here. It's because I think you want the bat shadow to take more focus. And I think the fact that you're having a character being shaken like in front of the back shadow or like over the top of it makes it less clear what it is. So I think there must be some ways that you can like reframe this to really have the bat shadow be the very clear object of the scene, the focus of the scene.
I think just shift them over to the right and the bat shadow to the left, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Because like you could maybe have like I like having this chill twerp music on. Just gonna reduce my brush size a bit because it's very big. And nobody get intimidated by my huge brush. Like, I think you could have Bat Shadow coming in, like, very much like, I am the Batman.
Who are you?
The Batman. Hello, Bruce Wayne. Master Wayne. I have brought you the Batmobile. Get inside it and go and fight crime. I love that. Mike and I watched a very Holy Musical Batman. I was going to say a very Batman musical, but that's not the name of it. We watched Holy Musical Batman together, and it was very funny, and I'm happy that Mike liked it.
Holy Musical Batman.
So you could have, you know, the Bat Shadow very much, in fact, make it even bigger, like, really. I'm Batman! I'm at a Dutch angle, because that's just how scary I am. Oh man, it's really hard to do it with such a huge eraser. Let me just produce that. Okay, cool. Maximum thrust. Bow, bow. And I'd love to see perspective on this, like, be really dramatic. So I'd love to see, you know, really looking up at it. That'd be really cool. And then you could have your two characters, like, you could have them in the foreground, or you could have them as they are now, kind of mid-shot. Like, oh my god! Behind you is the Batman shadow! Ah! Yeah, like, the alternative would be really, like, having them front and center. With, like, the Bat Shadow that's behind them like that. But I think it makes the Bat Shadow a bit less of a thing if you have them large as well, because then the two are kind of competing for screen space. This is kind of stuff I don't work out until I, like, doodle a thumbnail of it. And I'm like, now those two things feel like they have equal weight. So I kind of like keeping them small in frame.
Evelyn says, I want them to look at the Batman.
Yeah, they still can, because the Batman casting the shadow is still going to be over here. Whoop, 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 off screen. So they can still be looking at him off screen. Like in this this framing here, it would essentially be a rearrangement of the elements you've already got. So your characters will still be looking towards the screen and off screen, towards where the shadow's being cast from. You could boop-a-doop-boop-a-da-boo. Doo-doo-doo. She wants in again. Yep, she sure do. Like, you can still have it cast from screen left if you wanted, rather than screen right. I like the way it kind of nestles the characters and cups them here. It feels like it kind of caverns around them. You could have the same thing, but just have the shadow cast off from the other side if you want. But either way, you still have the characters looking off screen to where the Batman is, not looking at the shadow. But you're making the shadow more of a focus, so that it gets less lost in the posing of the character. Mike's just taking a cat petting break to shuffle Buffy's fur around because she's super cute. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Like, actually, a great thing to look at for stuff like this is the old Batman animated series has these amazing title cards, and they use amazing compositions, and there's a ton of them that use Batman's shadow because it's very stylistic in the way that they approach it. It's very like film noir. So Batman, I think there's actually an art book of just the animated title card. Yeah, I'd really like that at some point. Maybe we should get it for him. We still owe him a birthday present. Here we are. Let me... Boop, boop. They're so cool and moody. Like, they use a ton of shadow in their compositions. So looking at the way that these are framed, I think will give you a bit of inspiration. You basically want to really make sure that elements aren't overlapping each other. You want to give everything its space to shine. And if the point of the shot is Batman's shadow, then make sure that's like the largest element of the shot. Oh yeah, Batman the Animated Series is so good, isn't it? Oh man. I'm happy to find other people who love this show. I need to rewatch it. I haven't seen it since I was a teenager, I don't think. Look how moody and cool these are. So awesome. Ooh, that's a great one. Yeah, watch party. Anywho, yeah, so let me put a little note. Make shadow main focus. You can have the turtle tank behind them, like here or in the background of the scene somewhere. Main focus. And separate from character poses.
Yeah, Gargoyles is a good one as well.
Give it some respect.
Was Gargoyles also Bruce Timm?
I don't know, actually. I need to rewatch Gargoyles as well. That one which I think I caught an episode or two of as a kid, but never really saw. So a lot of people have a lot of affection and nostalgia for it, but I didn't really get to experience it. So I'd like to. Thank you so much for these grids. They are a blessing upon my eyes, Evelyn. It's really cool to see you really figuring out what's going on with the perspective on this stuff. Let's see. So, in terms of this, your horizon line is going to be here-ish, right? Is that right, Mike? I just wanted to check myself with Mike all the time because I'm still learning this stuff too.
I'm not sure, honestly. That one's a little bit... yeah.
It's like in between the two grids, right?
Yeah, maybe...
If you were to travel these off.
Maybe
the
not
edge.
so low on the left side, but I think the right side is...
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Like this?
Yeah.
Okay. So, basically...
I don't know.
Using this as a guide, pretty much everything below the horizon line you'll be drawing from above, and everything above you'll be drawing from below. But in terms of this road that you've got, you could very much be on a hill or slope. So it doesn't 100% apply. Which makes it kind of tricky to work out if the perspective is feeling right or not. I think in general I would even out this bit of road just a little bit.
Like, you're seeing kind of the tops of rocks and stuff there where you...
What if they're sloped?
Yeah, if they're sloped,
Then
you'd
you
see
would.
them. Yeah.
Which is why it's kind of difficult to work out.
Completely change your life.
See.
Now I know what you're thinking.
Evelyn says they used a perspective tool, so they-
Yes, perspective tool for the win. I'm happy that you are finding it. I think if this fence were going down in this way, then we probably would see the tops of some of these poles, like specifically here. Probably you see
The perfect product.
side of this. The perfect product.
Perfect for your family. It's perfect for your friends. A product you can trust. You can totally rely on.
I believe.
A product you can believe in.
Something like a little bit more like this, I
Time with it.
think,
It's a product
is
you
probably
can
what
love. A product
would feel right or what you're going for.
I know that you're gonna like this product. So if you don't mind, I'd like to go into further detail and give you some more information. Because we really want you to feel comfortable
think-
with all your product-related decisions.
I think that feels a little bit more solid to me.
Questions. Would you
You were told boards were supposed to be simple. Well, simple doesn't mean that they shouldn't be solid. So it's not so much a question of polishing the backgrounds. It's more just making sure that what you draw feels solid and clear.
lifetime of satisfaction.
You know? Because your backgrounds are going to be used as a plan for the animators and background artists. Even if it's just basic shapes, you just need to make sure that they feel solidly situated within the environment, which is why grids are so important.
I think one stream we should do something where we kind of talk a little bit about what thumbnails mean, what boards mean, what an animatic means, what roughs mean, what layouts mean, kind of thing. Because I think
Yeah, there's a confusion that I see a lot.
like professionally when India is storyboarding, she's basically making an animatic
Mhm.
a lot of the time, and I think to India that is what storyboards mean. But I think in historic terms, storyboards is sort of like a set of drawings that
Yeah.
show a sequence of events. So I think you can get a lot of conflicting or competing advice about what boards are supposed to be. So when India's giving advice here for like a more solid, clarified drawing, her approach is probably toward what you would need to do if you were creating a storyboard that could be passed to the background layout department, and they could be like, "Yep, we get it. We'll create a background based on the layout of your board."
Well, that's going to happen either way is the point. Like
Yeah.
whether it's an animatic or a storyboard, you're still going to be passing that. Like for example, take someone who just does storyboards and doesn't time them.
Yeah.
Okay, so you draw your drawings and their storyboards, and then you pass them to who? The editor, right? And the editor times them. But no one in between those two steps does any additional drawings or clarifies your drawings for you.
Yeah.
Your drawings are passed straight to the editor, so that either way, once that's timed, that's what the animators and the background artists have to go off.
Mm-hmm. Well, the level of interpretation that could occur varies. Like, say, because Evelyn's saying, yeah, I thought I was supposed to illustrate the idea of the story, so the exact details of the background weren't so important. But I think where you come from, your point of view, they are important because there's no one between you and the next point in the chain. It was kind of my point here.
Yeah, I mean, the background is important to the story. Like, the background is inherently important and woven into the story. So, for example, this panel here, you're trying to convey that they're driving up into the mountains past Gotham City, right?
Yeah.
So that's important to convey in the boards. So the environment is an important part of the story.
Yeah, I would agree.
So yeah, it's important to show that they're driving away, but the story point that they're driving into some craggy mountains, and you're showing that's kind of precarious and kind of spooky, and you're showing a city in the background, that's also important. So making sure that that's clarified as much as the rest of the board is important. Like, especially when you get to places like you see the entrance of the Batcave or the inside of the Batcave, like the backgrounds are as important as the acting on the characters, you know? Because otherwise, for boards, we would literally just do stick people.
Yeah.
and a box, and we'd write on the box bank. You know?
That would be your thumbnail equivalent.
But the point is that we're showing more with our storyboards than just that. We're showing the perspective and we're showing the mood,
Yeah.
and we're using that composition to push the storytelling. And to do that, sometimes you need to clarify those backgrounds. You don't always. So, for example, in every single shot, you don't have to do a background. So when I'm doing boards for stuff like when I was boarding on the Rise the movie, you know, you would have like, say, a big established. Oh, is the castle that they're walking towards? They are walk towards this castle, you know. And then the next shot, like, they might just be like walking and looking nervous and like, oh no, I'm walking towards the castle.
It's almost like for storyboarding you have to develop a really shorthand. So it's not keep it simple, it's keep it clear.
Well, simple is good, but clear is definitely like order of the day. But to finish my point, so here we would have like, you know, an establishing shot of this like big intimidating castle, and then the next shot would be this character walking towards it. But I only really need to do a background for this one because I'm setting up the location. And from there, when I do this straight on character walking, like, the background artists know that they're just going to be walking straight towards the castle, and so long as that environment is set up, like, so long as they know this is going to just be trees along the path here, and this other side is just trees along the path here, you don't necessarily have to do a background there, because you've already laid out in your establishing shot exactly where everything is. So it's not like every single board you do, you have to do a really good background on, but you do need certain key points to establish the location. So because this is a different location inside the car, and this is a different location, and that's a different location, and this is a different location, you would need a background for each of them to really show where you are, because that's important to the story. But if you would have several different scenes inside the cave, you might only need to really do a detailed background for that cave one time, just to show where things are. And when I say detailed, I mean more than anything, just it has to have the crucial elements. Like, it doesn't have to have, you know, you don't have to do shading, you don't have to like really worry about all the stalagmites on the ceiling if you don't want. So long as it's got the important stuff and you can see where things are, that's what matters the most. Oh, it's okay, Evelyn. Anytime. Like, I had to learn all this stuff as well from seeing how other people did it. So I understand, like, you got just figure out as you go. So it always helps to have other people to bounce ideas around with. I'm happy to share what I've learned over the past year doing stuff. So yeah, you want to make sure your backgrounds are solid and clear and simple if you can make them. Because the less clutter you have on frame, the better. Like, the more you want to only have on frame what's important to telling the story. So let's see, what was I doing? What was I even doing? Yeah, just looking at the perspective of this. I think that feels good. This is where I would add more panels in, if you had them, because I'd love to just see the turtle tank go past screen, you know, and shake cam, and then drive off into the distance. Just like 2 extra panels, one of it entering, one of it midway up, and one of this one just swerving around the corner. So if you did want to add extra to this, then you could do that. Love this first shot, very clear. Love that you've got that perspective in there. I think solid drawing and stuff is just something to look into in terms of like your background and the turtle tank and such. Just like making sure you have the draftsmanship to be able to like really make that tank feel convincing and the doorway feel convincing. Like, at the minute, knowing if this is like an exterior frame on the door for decoration, or whether it's meant to be showing like the interior part of the door frame. That's something that I wouldn't necessarily know. Like if it was showing the interior part of the door frame, then you would stop seeing it around here. Because of the perspective being over on this side, you would see more of this than you would of this. If that makes sense. And it would probably be more like that. But I don't know if that's 100% what it was that you were going for. And I'd be tempted just to make this character a little bit bigger in frame. Just like that. Just to like really push the size difference. And then I think my last note for it, like this interior, I think is like functionally perfectly fine for a storyboard background. Let me just follow them lines. Follow them lines! Let's find the perspective here. I should do like perspective studies every day because it's so helpful.
Yeah.
So hard to find the time every day right now just to do like simple studies. Okay, there we go. So, yeah, the perspective of the car will be different to the perspective of the background, I'm guessing then. Because here the dashboard is going along this perspective line, which doesn't match with what you set up grid-wise. But I'm trying to work out if that's a problem. Like we have a very flat perspective set up here with the dashboard.
Yeah, I think the dash doesn't match our point of view on the characters.
Yeah. I feel like the dash would be... I'm trying to figure out how to match this with the perspective I see in my head. Because it would be impossible to send it along these perspective lines, right, Mike? The ones which are set up already.
Yeah.
So how would you set that up?
Well, the dash, as we're currently seeing it, as you outlined it, like, can you take away your notes for a second so I can see the drawing?
Yeah. Like, I think the issue is...
I think it's because the dash itself is going up in curves. That it's not following the perspective because it's not a perpendicular or straight line. So I would just emphasize...
I'm trying to wrap my head around it.
I would just...
Hold on, Mike's coming over.
essentially emphasize that there's curves. And then it would be followed like this. If this is your horizontal,
Huh?
if you undo.
Yeah. I'm not sure I understand how that horizontal line is curving into the dashboard line. Because that horizontal line would be like the vanishing, the horizon line, right? So
Yeah. But like if you were using these lines to go up to the vanishing point here, that doesn't really...
yeah, it doesn't make sense with that. Hold on, let me just try something. I've got a wild, crazy idea. Well, what I'm thinking is, if you take this line and follow it through, and then you take this line and follow it through, and this becomes this. Yeah, then can you put everything on this instead?
Yeah. Kind of what...
You know, and then... Hold on, I need my ruler. I I forget. I think it might be. That's not a tile so much, it's a grid, like, to show the perspective. But yeah, I think this is the perspective you want to be working with. So rather than following that ceiling grid... Oh, you okay?
Yeah.
I think this is what we're doing, right?
I just want just this one time. Feel something real. Yeah. I just want.
Oh yeah, Mississippi. Zeb is an awesome YouTube person who does amazing tutorials based around Toon Boom software. So definitely sounds like you've already checked her stuff out, but
Oh my god, I searched Rise of the TMNT Turtle Tank interior and it's just giving me the toys. It is just giving me the toys.
yeah, it's really hard to find to find any reference for. So in terms of this, the ceiling of the tank would probably be more like this. It would be more like this. One touch, you got the stuff. Your body is my motivation. I got a tactile sensation. There you go. Something more like that, I think, and that will make your grid make sense. Yeah, it was just a matter of the ceiling grid not lining up. But that makes it work. Yeah, my last note, I got distracted by doing this. My last note is just that I think that the entrance to the back cave, because I read it at first as a shadow, I think you could just clarify that to make it feel more like a cave. You know, I'd probably just make it like a little bit bigger and more imposing. In fact, you could even make the turtle tank smaller, which might be fun. You know, I am the shape of a cave. So don't laugh at me.
I'm not. I'm choking on my juice. I'm choking on my juice.
Choking on my juice, choking on my juice.
I also love the fact that this is the cave opening. Just like, I'm a cave.
I'm a cave.
Don't try and persuade me, I'm a cave.
I'm a cave. Like, maybe having a little bit of interior detail in there to really show, like, I'm a cave. You know?
Stop it.
What?
Stop saying I'm a cave.
It is, though. But you could have the turtle tank really show the scale of the cave. You could have the turtle tank be... It's amazing drawing I'm doing of the tank. You could have the turtle tank be like, you know, even smaller. So it really feels like it's a vast open space. Cloaked in shadows and mystery. Much like the Batman himself! Batman! Bruce Wayne.
Batwayne, Bruce Man.
Bruce Man. Let's see.
Somebody to be my buddy.
Somebody who will be my buddy back. Emphasize scale. And make cave more cavey. And that's all my feedback.
Allow cave to realize dreams of being cave to cave more. Cave more often. Cave all time.
Batman Wayne, would you like another iced tea? I think the sequence of events is really good though. I really like
Super
the shots
clear.
you've chosen. Like, very good storytelling. Watch the eye trace a little bit. Like, here we're very much looking center screen. and then we're looking slightly more over to the right, and then we're looking even more over to the right. So maybe just like move these characters back a little bit so that this is more centered. Like, try to keep your eye in roughly the same place when you end the previous scene as where you start the next one, so that you're kind of gracefully moving the viewer's eye around the screen. Like, what I always do to just check that is I'll just draw over like where the eye is at the end of a scene and check it over the next one to see that I'm tracing that okay. So, for being your fourth time overboarding, what's your opinion? I think you've got like super good potential, Evelyn. I think you got like a nice handle on what's important in storytelling to show, like what beats.
Yeah.
I think just work on exaggeration, I think, is a big thing for you. Like, the same way that Patrick always says to us in animation, make the slow slower and the fast faster. I'd say when it comes to environments and boards and layouts and placing things within an environment, make the small elements even smaller and the big elements even bigger. And it'll push the depth of your scenes.
Yeah.
If you do that and make it feel more dynamic. Eye traces, yeah, it's super helpful, especially when you're doing very fast scenes cut together. If you're doing a sequence where there's a bunch of very fast cuts, eye trace is like so important. Alright, awesome job, Evelyn. And now we're on to Grog.
Grog.
The longest Johns and El Pony Pissador. The Northwest Passage. Boy. At Groggo TV.
Never mind.
What's wrong?
I don't think it's meant to be read, that last word. I don't think it's meant to be read like that.
Pissador.
Yeah.
You're right, I think it's probably Pissador.
Yeah.
My English is showing.
El Pissador.
Surely it would be pronounced the way I would pronounce it if I were saying a British word.
Oh my gosh. There's gonna be music. So I'll turn you up.
Okay. La 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 la.
Let it play.
Okay, sorry, I was waiting for you. I didn't know if you were done. Okay, you guys ready? Let's do it. Oh.
Establishing shot.
Oh. Ooh. Hold on, I've got to put my headphones on so I can actually hear the music, because this sounds like it's a musical, which means it's going to be important for me to hear what this person's saying. Here I go.
There was no music.
Oh, really? Hold on then. Let me...
Maybe it's just really quiet.
I'm going to turn mine up. Okay. Do you want to turn yours up, or do you want me to just turn mine up?
I've turned mine up as well. See
Okay.
if it's loud.
Here we go.
There we go.
Westward from the Davis Strait, 'tis that was satellite. Dusty route to the Orient, for which so many died. Seeking gold and glory, leaving weathered, broken bones, and the long forgotten lonely cat of souls.
Oh, it's such a nice song. This is really cute, Grog. I really like it. I hope that you finish this. Like, this looks lovely already. I really like this shot in particular. Like, I feel like there is a grid here, but I don't think you've found it in the way that you've illustrated it. But I can see where the horizon line would be and such.
Mm.
So I think if you can really like figure that, that'll be awesome, because I think already like this is working, this layout. I really like this. My first point that I would probably say in order to maybe push this or improve the clarity of it is I think the first shot, everything feels like very cramped up and the character feels quite big in comparison to the ship. But this here is set up very beautifully and shows the scale of everything very well.
Yeah.
And I noticed that here you have like a jetty, whereas it doesn't really feel like there's much space here between the home and the boat. So I think I would bring that jetty into this scene, like make them consistent with one another. So you can push that house back, and have the ship take up more of the space. So hold on, let me show you. So I think having a walkway here would be real nice. Like, I feel like there's a lot of potential with this first shot that we're not necessarily executing on. So, go on, Mike.
Can you play through just quickly, just scrubbing? Because like the letter is written and I just want to see like how it plays out just quickly, because the shadow passes over the letter, right?
Yeah, but can we get to that just after this scene? Because this is just like one point I'm making.
Okay.
And the letter is a whole different shot that I'd like to go into when we actually go into that shot. If that makes sense?
Sure.
Cool. Like the head here, it feels like is either tangenting or intersecting with this rope from the mast to the front of the ship, the stern. And it feels like you could use that better to isolate the character. Like, rather than have the rope pass over him, like, you could either frame him outside of it so it feels like he's not like in that space of the ship yet, or you could use this as almost like a panel to frame him. So you're isolating him within that space of the ship. But I think either way, that element there, you could use that gracefully, I think, to really compose the character in that space. I would also love to see this ship pushed slightly more towards the camera. Because at the minute, again, it's got that slight isometric feel that the one of the previous boards had too. Whereas it feels like you could really like have it coming slightly more towards cam here. Like maybe set up a type of grid where because we're looking down, the math is coming up towards the camera and we're getting some perspective on that. Sorry, Mike, go for it.
I was going to say ships are fairly difficult to draw, so if you grab like a 3D model or reference and turn it around, you can probably find a ship of the same scale that you're going for and kind of push and pull it around, because yeah, you could have that 4 masts and stuff coming towards you and things, but it's hard to rotate and change the field of view in your head on something that's quite organically shaped like a ship.
That's the issue I'm having right now, is I'm like trying to show how I'd push it, but also it's very difficult to like rotate this in my head.
Yeah.
This entire scene. But I think you can see what I'm getting at. Like really pushing that mast up towards the top of the screen and having that be like one big framing device here.
one thing I would say is that the scale of the boat in like that other shot, like this doesn't feel like it's a massive ship, and I don't think it's meant to.
Yeah.
So just be careful with like what you're doing with the scale in terms of like the window, I think that's implied, and the door shape on the ship and everything. Like this shot feels a bit weird because certain scales and certain things that we want to know are a little bit out of whack. Like in order to have an upper deck on a ship, you have to have enough room for people to walk around in, and yet you've established that his house is a one-story house that's slightly further away from the ship. So the scales are just, yeah.
Yeah, essentially take that really beautiful shot that you've done here.
Yeah.
And apply that to this first shot. But also just look to clarify everything here. Again, like the proportions on your character here feel much more realistic than they do here. This character feels much more sort of cartoony. So make sure those proportions are like staying the same so we know like if this character is like Animal Crossing-esque in their proportions or if they're more realistic.
Oh, we don't have any music.
But yeah, I'd be tempted to push this house further away. And to push the ship closer to cam. And really look to like use it as a framing element. Because we're trying to look at this dude, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, use that as a framing element and really work out the perspective here. I want to see you using grids. I think one of the reasons that this isn't working at the minute is because you haven't really worked out geographically like where everything is lying and where the vanishing points are. So it's very hard scale wise for you to like match up where everything would be sitting. But yeah, definitely bring that jetty in because that's going to be important later. As he has that lovely shot where he walks along it. You want to really make sure you establish that. You know? So Mike, you were saying the general storytelling in the way that the different scenes flow together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wanted to see that play out.
Okay, let me scrub through it for you. Let me just take this sketch off.
So they're like looking at the ship.
Yep. So they're standing in the doorway and they're looking at the ship.
Yep.
And we're cutting in.
Yeah.
And they look down and they're still presumably in the doorway.
Yeah.
But we're cutting inside.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming, given the lighting, to look at a letter.
Yep, that they've written.
That Tim has come. And then we see a shadow pass over it.
Yep.
So this could be them walking into the place back inside.
Yeah.
We see a bag get picked up.
And then we
then
cut immediately to that.
We cut to them walking out.
Yeah.
And then we cut in on the face as they look up. One of the things which I would be... There's a lot of things here that I think you could clarify with the way that you order the shots and what you show in them. I think that's what Mike was feeling.
Yeah.
Is that there's the connective thread that runs through them is there, but it could definitely be strengthened. Just by little things. Like, for example, here we see that he's walking towards the ship. Or I'll use they because I don't know what gender this character is, but they're walking towards the ship. And then we cut in on them. And I'm not clear if they've stopped or if they're still walking.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're still walking, it might be nice just to, like, all you need to do is pop a little arrow and be like, background. Just to show that the background is still scrolling as they're going forward. But if they've stopped, then I would have them stop on this shot. Or you could have them stop at the start of this by showing the background stop moving. But either way, if they stop, you don't want it to happen on the cut. You don't want them to be moving in one shot and then just still on the next shot.
Mm-hmm.
You want to either show them come to a stop here, or you want to see them stop in this shot. I'm assuming that they're stopped because when they look up, the background hasn't scrolled past them anymore. In which case, I would probably have them, let's see, looking down here, have them get to like here and then lower their head and look down as if they're hesitating before taking that final step.
Yeah. So what I would suggest a little bit is if I were to take the sequence and be like, how would I plus this for storytelling? I would have the shot where the character shadow goes over the letter. I would suggest that the shadow goes from right to left.
Yeah, I was gonna get to that.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna finish this and then I think you and me are both thinking the same reason why.
Yeah.
So I'd have them stop here. It might even be nice if you have like a gangplank down to symbolically show what I think is happening. You could have them stop with one foot resting on the gangplank, like they're about to step onto the ship, but then they're stopping for a second's hesitation just to like say goodbye to their home or to gummy up the strength to make this one big move.
Yeah.
Stop either just before the gangplank or with one foot resting on it. Okay, and for the screen direction thing, I think you and me are thinking the same thing, which is he's facing left to right, looking at the ship.
Yep.
And then when he walks towards the ship, he's walking left to right towards it.
Yeah.
So it feels like if he's going back into the house to get his things,
yeah,
that he should be moving from right to left.
Yep.
Because he's going from this back into the house this way.
I would then suggest that you could do because it's a large letter, I think you could add an additional shot where you zoom in to like 2 or 3 particular words that kind of sum up the gist of the letter, and then you could have the shadow go from left to right to show that he's going out of the house. So if he comes in, I would also flip the grabbing the bag so that the hand is grabbing from right to left.
Yeah, you'd flop all the scenes inside essentially, so everything is going from right to left.
So you can see he's turning away from the ship, but then he's turning back to the ship during this sequence.
So can you repeat to me what you said about the letter, because I didn't 100% understand.
So this is a long letter to read.
Mm-hmm.
And it's on there for enough time, but say you picked
I'm not 100% sure you're meant to read the entire letter in the time.
That's what I'm saying, is if you had a cut in for the shadow going from left to right, you could have like I must follow, or like the time has come, or something. They'd be like, okay, it's just an additional idea of like, this is the part where this is the meaning of the letter, is like, so, I need to go.
Would you cut in before or after the shadow?
I would suggest cutting in to show the shadow going from left to right. So it could go...
So would you cut in to the words before or after the shadow, or during the shadow?
Cut in, and the shadow passes during the cut in.
So you would lose the definition on the shadow then? Because right now we can see it's the character's head shape.
Yeah, I wouldn't cut this shot. I would add a shot.
Yeah, but you're saying that you want to cut in on words. So like this.
Yes.
While the shadow passes, which means that to us the shadow's going to be this. We're going to lose the definition of the shape of the character's head being the shadow, because we'll be closer in on the note. So we won't see that it's the character's head shape passing, we'll just see a shadow passing.
Yes.
Yeah, I think you could do that. I don't think showing the character's head shape is crucial to the shot.
But it would be a secondary shot, so you wouldn't need the character's head shape because you've already established that it was the character moving. You see what I mean?
No.
Like,
so you would show the character's shadow with the head shape like this, and then cut in.
Yeah.
Like, so you would see this as it is.
Okay, shush. I would have this shot as it is. You could have the same staging, but I would have the shadow move across it from right to left to show that they've come from the doorway.
Yeah,
and they're going to grab their
shot.
back. You wouldn't necessarily have to flop the entire shot. It could just be the shadow movement.
It could be.
And then I would have them grab the bag in the next shot, and have that hand come in from the right to the left, grab the shot.
Yeah.
I would then cut to zoomed into the letter saying, "This is my time." And
Oh,
I would
I
have the
see.
shadow pass across it again to show that they're moving out of the shot. But you both established, like, this is the meaning of the letter if you hadn't read it all.
Gotcha.
Like, I'm
So-
making my decisions, this is what I mean, then cut to outside.
Let me just clarify that. So you would have letter with shadow. So the shadow passes over in that direction. And then we show the bag getting picked up.
Yeah.
Like this. And then before we cut to outside, you would have a close-up of some of the words on the letter. Whatever the point is. And you'd have a shadow cross over from left to right.
Yeah.
So like that, to show they're
Yeah.
leaving back out.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that would be a nice sequence of events. I don't think you necessarily need the extra shot, but I think it would be really nice and poignant to have. So let me just... So, flop interior shots. Or make sure the movement
Grog's saying that
goes.
he says he needs to make it clear that the table and the bag are outside in the boards.
Oh gosh, they're outside.
That,
Yes.
Yeah, that needs to be in this first shot then.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I
So-
can just accept it if they're inside, because it's like you would write a letter while you're inside and you would keep your belongings inside.
Yeah, that changes everything. Oh no! Hold on then. So,
The reason I was asking about this direction stuff to begin with was that if the character was moving from left to right towards the ship, that first establishing shot, I wouldn't put the ship in the foreground. Because you wouldn't need to have this whole moving from right to left, then left to right during the sequence.
what are you talking about? Sorry? You wouldn't have the ship in the foreground because you wouldn't need to have the left to right.
Say they weren't looking at the ship, or they were like looking out the window towards the sea, or like the ship was behind them, but then they were like, I gots to go, and then they move and they go to the ship. The reason I was bringing all of this scene direction stuff up was maybe it would affect or change the establishing shot.
Why would it change the establishing shot?
Because they might not necessarily be standing looking at the ship.
Why not?
Because they might not be. If
I'm just
the
wondering.
sequence-
I'm just wondering where you're coming from. Like,
if the
what's-
sequence of events was them moving from left to right, it wouldn't make sense for them to move from left to right in front of, unless the letter is literally written on the.
Oh, you're
on the-
talking about specifically. You're talking about the letter and
Yeah.
the fact that they pass over it. Okay, I wasn't getting that. I was just like, I couldn't understand why you wanted to change the establishing shot.
Because of the logic of the shadow passing over the letter.
Yeah. Okay, one sec.
Unless they.
Hold on. Thanks very much, Raging Monkey, for the raid.
Hello.
Thank you. So yeah, what I'm trying to say is, I think the letter is on this table here.
Yeah.
So I think what Grog is showing is that the person is walking this way, away from the cam, currently, to go over to the letter. That's a very bad arrow. Hold on.
Welcome in. We're doing some like advice and reviews on storyboards from people that submitted stuff for the Animorning challenge.
Yeah, so I think it's on this table. So he's walking away from camera during those shots to go to the right-hand side.
Yeah.
That would be here. He's going this way
Yeah.
to walk past the letter and grab the bag. I honestly kind of feel like it might be nicer to have it inside. You know? Just because I like the change of screen direction. I think there is a little bit less feeling of progression if they're really just traveling from left to right the entire time. And it's kind of difficult staging wise to show them turning towards that to grab the note.
Yeah.
Because if you were going to have that, then you definitely wouldn't want to have the sail here obscure where that is on screen.
Yeah.
You would want that to be shown very clearly. So you might, like Mike was saying, you might want to stage this first shot very differently if you want that, just to make it very clear where everything is.
Yeah.
Like,
okay, for instance, if the character doesn't go inside the house, then there's no point to the house in this shot, this first establishing shot. Like
Well-
the building serves no purpose.
I think
other
it does.
than- okay.
I would argue with you there, because I would say the purpose of this building is to show that they're leaving home. If they're just stood on a jetty, like, it's very different. It's like, it doesn't feel like their ship. It doesn't feel like they're leaving anything necessarily behind, because you don't see what they're leaving behind.
Yeah.
Like, I think this is showing that they are leaving a home that they have.
Yeah, but if the sequence of events is I'm standing on the jetty, I've written a letter on the jetty, I'm picking my bag up off the jetty, I'm walking along to the jetty to the ship, then the building doesn't have any link to them, you know?
No,
Like,
it doesn't need to have a link to them, though. Like, it doesn't have to be in the rest of the shots, but I think it makes sense in the establishing shot because you're implying history.
Okay.
Like, as long as you make it clear. I think the issue is that later on it wasn't made clear that this wasn't inside the house.
Yeah.
So we assumed it was because the house was there, so we were like, well, they're probably going to use it. If this was instead clear that it was outside, then I don't think we'd have had a problem.
Yeah.
But I don't think the house needs to necessarily feature a lot in any of the other shots. Like, if it's just being there to be used as in this person is leaving their house, they're leaving their home,
Yeah.
I think it makes sense to have it in the establishing shot to show that the character's leaving something behind to go.
I should read the full letter.
But yeah, I think if you're gonna have the house, then in order to just not feel like it's in the house, you need to maybe frame it just a little bit differently. I would probably lower the table a little bit or flatten it out just a little bit so I could show some of the outside next to it. Like having a bit of this environment where we can see trees or something by it, or having it like just staged very clearly in this first shot that it's next to him and we can see the letter and we can see the bag.
Or just have like the overlap of the house being partially shading it so that when the character moves out of the shade of the house, you've got like...
Yeah, you could have them in shadow here. Like one of the things I was going to suggest for this shot, when I thought it was in the house, was to have them turn around to start walking in this shot at the end of it.
I'd agree.
Because I think that would make it clearer, but you could do the same thing with them leaving to go to get the letter here, where they walk out of the shadow of the house. So you could have them... Excuse my terrible drawing of your character, by the way. You could have them walk off screen here, and as they walk off screen you could have like them emerging from the shadow that is the house and have them in shadow here at the beginning. I think one of the things that you could use, that you've started using, but you could like, it would really help sell the location and the geography and like where everything is how here you've blocked him in white. Sorry, blocked them in white. I think you can use that white versus grey to like great effect. So here, because they are blocked in white, it feels like light is hitting them. So maybe just have them like in that grey, that background grey, or a slightly lighter version of that background grey until they walk out and we see the light hit them. And then you can have this letter, you can block the entire table in white, so it feels like the light's hitting it.
Yeah.
And it'll make it feel like it's outside. And then when you have if I just reframe this a little bit, here it is. And then when you have like the bag just next to it and you have like trees in the distance, you know, and stuff, you really get the impression that you're outside. Trees. And then I think that will make more sense. You wouldn't need to flop the scenes then, in that case. So let me just adjust this note. Because if they were moving from left to right sideways, then yeah, you would need to flop those shots.
Is flop something you got from your recent colleagues? 'Cause I've never heard you hear flop the shot before.
No, but it's a terminology that I've heard, so I've started using it.
Flopping.
I would say flip, but I also use flip when it comes to flipping frames. Means going back and forth between them.
Right.
Flopping frames means horizontally,
Mirroring.
oh yeah, opposing them.
I'm gonna
essentially.
look that up.
I'd love to see just like one more panel here of the bag going off screen. And then you could link that into him kind of shouldering it in this shot. I think that would be nice. Let me just take this arrow off because I was just using it for illustration purposes earlier. Yeah.
Flopped image. In photography and graphic arts, a flopped image is a technical term for a static moving image that is generated by a mirror reversal of an original image across a vertical axis. This is opposed to a flipped image, which means an image reversed across a horizontal axis. Flopping can be used to improve the subjective aesthetic appeal of the image in question. It said something in the before we made the jump.
Wait
which
a
was
second,
like-
are you saying that a flopped image is flopped vertically?
I think flop.
Okay, so flip is vertically
Yeah.
and flop is horizontally. Interesting. Meanwhile, I'm just here wearing flip-flops, says Palbro.
So flopped images are common because they can be used to correct continuity errors between shots and are hard to see without extensive examination. Whereas flipped images are very obvious.
It's upside down! I'm trying to decide if it would be nice for this character to walk off frame at the end, but I don't want to mirror this too much. But yeah, I think this is a way you could do it. Just really make sure that you set up that table in the establishing shot, and then use your lighting to show that your character is walking out from the door frame, and add that extra frame of them leaving. And then you can keep this, and you can use Mike's idea of clicking in on a part of the letter afterwards if you want, after the bag.
You could have the character literally writing the letter in the establishing shot, and then in the shot where you cut into them, it's like, well, I sure did just write that letter.
Could do. I don't want to take away from the feeling of the storytelling, though, like, because that changes a lot about what the character's doing.
Fair.
Because here it feels like they've got everything prepared, and they're just taking that moment before they actually take the plunge to reflect and think about what they're doing. Whereas if they write the letter then go straight to it,
Yeah,
you know,
fair enough.
it's just a different feeling. But you could definitely do that. Yeah, and then have them stop here before looking back up there. I think that'll work really nice. Real nice. I really do love the drawings in this scene. Super nice. Yeah, I think that's all the notes I have on it, Grog. You did an awesome job.
That's everything.
I really liked the song as well that you chose. I haven't heard it before. It's real nice. Oh, I was gonna say as well, one thing that I did in Glim was there was a scene where it was really important that you kind of clocked where the bag was. So I made sure that the bag was a colour that really stood out from the rest of the scene. Like the reason why Midge's bag in the comic book is bright blue is so it can contrast with the environment around it and you can always tell where it is. So you could do a similar thing with this. Like, I don't think you should have to colour boards, ever. I do sometimes use value and lighting, but one of the reasons you would have for colouring something would be to ping it out. So the establishing shot here, if you have the bag there, and the bag is... So, for example, here's the writing desk. You don't have to lay it exactly like this, you might want to use a slightly different layout now that we know that desk is outside. But if you have the bag next to it, bring that bag out of colour, I suggest something pastel. And then you keep that consistent. Then it becomes very clear. Whoops. Then it becomes very clear at all times where it is and what's happening with it. So the corner of the bag, and when they pick it up, just like give the a backing colour, essentially, block it in yellow. Or you could just draw it in that colour. That's another thing that you could do. But that will immediately like clock your eyes to it. So who wants to make the Seafaring Pirate musical show with me? Oh my gosh, that sounds so cool. Are you kidding me? Everyone. Everyone wants to make it with you, Grog, because it's the coolest sounding thing in the world. What is this? Can you talk about your idea on the stream, or would you rather keep it private? Like, is this music from a musical? Yeah, I'm excited to see where this goes, Grog.
India, I'm sending you a clip of or an excerpt of the scene where you set up the bag. I think seeing the scene again, I'm gonna change the color of the library floor. The library floor is gonna be green.
I think there's some different things that I'm gonna do with this scene too, because like I said on the stream that I chose the blue to ping out the bag so you could always tell where it was.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a good instinct, but in practice in the comic, I still think it didn't work well enough. Like, I still think that people didn't understand where the bag was or where it was going. So I would still want to emphasize that more in the final.
Are you going to show that on screen?
I'll play it up.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think partially it doesn't work here because everything else has higher contrast than it. Everything else has black outlines.
Yeah.
Whereas the bag has a slightly darker blue than its fill colour, which makes everything else actually ping out more than it. And it's also a very similar colour to the library floor.
Look how terrible that shadow placement is from me.
What is that, Mike?
That's really bad, isn't it?
What is that? Is that meant to be under the table?
Yeah. What the hell, Mike?
I mean...
Where's the chair shadows?
Yeah, I don't know. I might have even requested you put that in so that the bag would have more contrast.
Oh, maybe.
Like, this chair has like a colour hold that is the colour of Midge's face. But the rest of the chairs don't.
Yeah. We're gonna fix that. Also, did you mention that book that you're working on? It's called Girl
Yeah, we
in the
just did.
Glim. Look at
mentioned
this
it.
cool thing. Wow!
Oh, man.
I'm gonna fill out this area on the right here with like details and stuff.
Just put really, really small text, like a ton of it.
Like copy paste a Copy pasta? Copy pasta, whatever.
Copy pasta? What are you talking about?
Oh, have you never heard of copy pasta?
What, like creepy pasta?
Yeah. Isn't it copy pasta a thing?
I don't know what's copy pasta.
Maybe I got it like copy paste and creepy pasta mixed up.
Maybe. Let's see. Northwest Passage, originally by Stan Rogers, I believe about the explorers charting out the Northwest Passage in Canada. So I chose this song to represent the character leaving to break new ground in dangerous places. The line, and a long forgotten lonely cairn? Is that cairn? Cairn? It's a word I'm not familiar with. Cairn of stones to represent those who died charting the passage. Oh wow. It's lovely. Like, it's very sad. It's beautiful though. Palbro says copy pasta is a thing. Copy pasta is something some people say. So does it just mean copy paste, or are you like stealing recipes from people?
I think it's no. I think it's when it's a specific amount, like a specific thing of text that you either change or like it's like it's meme in text form, right?
Yeah, it's just copy paste but funny. I see. Like insert example here.
What are you doing?
Oh, you're gonna make it so that the avatars know when mods join the chat and say hello.
Yeah.
That's super cute.
Yeah, so it might even be able to tell who.
Alright guys, you ready for the next Animorning challenge?
I didn't think of one.
Yeah.
Did you?
I didn't suppose you would, so I have thought of one.
How do you multitask so much? Does your brain work on a quantum level?
Yeah.
I can't believe
Sure.
it. Is that what you did when you went to get tea?
Yep.
Is that exactly what you did when you went to get tea?
Yep.
You were like, I need a break to think about this. I'll make an excuse. I'll go to the bathroom and I'll get tea and I'll think about this.
No, I actually just needed the bathroom and wanted tea, and then I got upstairs and was like, that thing is something that we need.
Okay.
So I shall think about this now. You guys ready to get back into animation? Oh wait, you had an idea. Did you watch a new Grumps episode? I did, and I recommended it to Mike and to Patrick. I made Mike watch the advert at the beginning.
Oh yeah,
hello.
You only let me see that. That was all you let me see.
Animorning challenge, animate Scatman falling down the stairs. Oh my gosh! That's so much better. Okay, we'll isolate that audio for you guys. That's better than what I had, Palbro. Bless you, Palbro. You're a beautiful man.
Look, I'm adding text to this
So
we know.
great, thanks. Look at it, it's beautiful. It totally goes with the aesthetic of the stream.
Wait.
So this week's challenge.
It's yellow now.
Is to animate Scatman falling down the stairs to the Grumps audio. We will give you the Grumps audio. When you do it, I want you, like, feel free to send it to Grumps because I want you guys to get attention for doing it from Aaron. I want them to see you and be like, you guys are awesome. I want your animation to be shared by someone with a large platform so you get many views and much love. My challenge was going to be animating mythical creatures. So you guys could choose a mythical, non-existent creature and animate it, but this is way better. This is way, way better. Wait, I'm still sending you audio, right?
Yes.
I wonder if I
always.
can find that bit of it for you. So
Wait.
you guys who haven't seen it
Do you mean that previous scat wasn't it? I thought that was just you and you playing it.
I mean, I know that I'm extremely good. But look at my beautiful subscription box, everybody.
This
Which
is what
episode was it?
India watches.
This is it, I think. Okay. Is this it? I'm pretty sure it was the one. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the one where they were swimming around. At the speed of swim. Could swim into do gotta swim with my arms now.
Wait. Can I Properties. Can I animate? Can I make this a marquee? Probably not.
Wait a second. How many days ago was this? What? It wasn't this far back. Surely. Surely! It wasn't this far back! Is this it? It's the latest one, the newest one. Okay. Okay, I thought it was. The latest one, the newest one. So not Dangongompa, Digombadonga, which is this one. But
Look how exciting I made the text.
this one.
There we go.
Didonga. Okay, the swimming just happens later. That makes sense.
Are you? You've got it muted. Okay, cool.
Yes. Okay, here we go. This is, in fact, it.
My friend John once said it would be amazing if Scatman made those sounds while he was falling downstairs.
The music is too loud.
Just wonderful. Just the best. This is so stupid. But you can picture it so clearly, can't you?
Like at the exact same pace too. Like his fucking limbs are all floppy. Oh my god. That's the funniest fucking image I've ever seen in my life.
It's really good. And after he's collapsed in a heap of broken bones at the bottom of the stairs, he's just like like one hand comes up.
It's like it just completely hits the very bottom right at the edge. I'm scared, man. Oh god. That's
There
so
you go. So we can either give you guys the Game Grumps audio of them talking about it, or we can give you the actual Scatman audio for you to animate too. I personally think it would be funny to do the Game Grumps version, but then the entire Game Grumps bit is so long, it might be better just to give you the song, the actual song, and let you guys go ham with it. Why not both? I think we'll give you the Scatman song. We'll give you the Scatman song. The actual one. Why not either? Okay, sure. You guys can pick. We'll get both for you, and you guys can pick which one you'd rather. I think it would work either way. All right. Look at that beautiful text. Absolutely awful.
You leave my text alone. It's very exciting. It tells you that there's a new challenge. I don't know what you mean.
Alright, well, I guess it's time for us to head off, Ski.
Yeah, bye.
That's it. End of stream. Is there anyone we can raid?
Either Domo or Max.
Let's do Domo. We haven't done Domo in a while.
Okay, Domo it is then. Raid initiated.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for taking part in this Animorning challenge as usual. We hope you have a lot of fun with the next one.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to think of a good star pun. We hope that it's not a step too far. That was really bad. Hold on.
Why are you doing a stair pun? Oh, because people are falling down the stairs.
Yeah, what the heck?
Flight.
I mean, you just said a word. That's not a pun, Mike.
Banister.
We hope that this will topple your limitations. Step. Hope things don't escalate. That's very good, Ben.
Elevator.
Groggo, I thought it was really nice. Like, you might think it's self-indulgent. I just thought it was really cool. This will be quite the tumble. All right, everyone.
Fall.
We'll catch you next time. Until then,
May the rest
have your day
be filled
with
stars.
adventure.
Adventure, everybody. Goodbye.
I love that we both just didn't say the final thing at all.
We're gone. It's done.
Okay.